another team that's 1-0. You started off 0-1, you'll play another team that's 0-1. So it kind of restructures the bracket to make sure that the matches are as even as possible as we go through.
As even as possible, and also super exciting. I love watching undefeated teams play each other throughout the rest of the day. Now, when it comes down to our teams, which region are we going to be focused on? Well, it is going to be the European region. And, Mommy, we know how much talent we have out here.
Most definitely. I mean, I feel like this is the most competitive region, and we don't really know how it's going to go down. And yes, we have Nova Esports, and like what Inferno said a while ago, he feels like they're at the best of the best right now. They're at the best team. So, you know what? Let's take his word for it. But obviously, underneath them, I feel like Animus is going to be such an amazing team, because I feel like in Stage 3, they just
all right, good morning, guys.
and they didn't really have any chance to play up against everyone else from the top 3 seeds.
Call of Duty Mobile regional playoff today. We're going to watch some of this, and then we'll play some, too, in between things. You know, we're not going to watch the whole thing. Just, well, let's be real. That would be, you want to play games, you don't watch restreams all day.
You definitely want to give it everything you got. Look at the big difference there between first and second. You don't want half of that money. But now, when it comes down to it, okay, let's take a look at our schedule for our matches here coming up today, because it's going to be an exciting one. Our first match coming up is going to be Animus versus Axabite. Then right after, we're going to have 2 matches from Swiss Round 2, followed up by 2 matches from Swiss Round 3. And as Schiff was talking about earlier, that's when those undefeated teams are going to be playing against each other. And we see some elimination matchups as well. And so that's going to be super exciting. But let's shift back on over towards our first matchup of the day. And Mommy, Animus versus Axabite. What should we be expecting here?
This is going to be very exciting, because we heard Hisaka a while ago from Prometheus that is their biggest competition, because everyone's fighting for that 3rd spot. I mean, everyone already knows that top 1 and 2 probably already done. It's already going to be secured. And now that's the fight going into that 3rd. Animus looking a little bit better than Axabite, but at this point, we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know what's going to happen at all. And as you can see, our bonus matches there, those bottom 3, COD Mobile is a fast-paced game, and so if we can get to them, we shall. But for those other matches, Schiff, what should we be looking at?
Yeah, so all 4 of these Swiss Round 1 matches are happening simultaneously, so I know a lot of you fans out there are looking for what's going to be going on with Nova. They're going up against Cold Esports, which that is not a matchup to take lightly. This Cold Esports team, well, if you know, you know, happy to be here. But the thing is, after they've gotten now through that Stage 3, how prepared are they going to be? Because I think, yeah, all of us are looking forward to seeing who the 3rd team's going to be coming out of this region. And Cold Esports may have an argument to throw here. So you got to come out hot, which is ironic considering their team name.
Yeah.
You need to show something against this Nova squad if you want to have hopes for that 3rd position.
You definitely need to, okay?
Like I said, this is the European one. The Japan one's been going on, but it's that started at, like, I think 2 a.m.
At home, how you feel about it? Who do you think is going to come out on top and qualify for Stage 5? Use the hashtag CODMChamps22. M is for mobile. CODMChamps22. Let us know your thoughts and how you are feeling.
Yeah, we'll play eventually. I want to play eventually in, you know, this weekend's tournament, but I want to watch this for a little bit while I'm having my coffee.
We got some more people. It's the World Championship, and we can't do it alone. I give to you Bobby Plays, and we got Alley Cat in the building. How y'all doing today?
I'm doing good. I was not expecting to catch strays that early in the broadcast, but here we are. It's EU, it's Stage 4, and probably the deepest region that we've got in COD Mobile right now. I think we got a lot of really good games ahead of us.
We do for sure. Allie, what about yourself? How you been?
I'm doing great. Hi, Call of Duty Mobile. It's been a while. I missed you guys. I think Bobby's grown a few inches on me since last time I've seen him, Blaze.
Yeah, just a little bit. I don't know what Bobby been eating.
Shows you how huge mobile is when they have mobile tournaments just for just for this.
But when it comes down to making
I mean, Call of Duty Mobile is huge. I mean, people don't realize that.
Is going to make it to Stage 5. I need your predictions. We're gonna have a crazy weekend. Mommy, who you think got it?
It's going to be hard going in for that 3rd spot, like we keep saying, because I think Nova and Animus has a really good shot when it comes to 1 and 2, but I think I'm going for Light when it comes to that 3rd spot, because they did bring Nova EU down to the lower bracket, waited for them in winners bracket, and unfortunately lost that to Nova, so I feel like that's a really good showing.
I think that is a fantastic showing. We'll see what they can do. Bobby, how are you feeling, okay? Come on, bless us with your knowledge, COD Mobile Godfather.
I mean, obviously, like they mentioned, Animus and Nova both look really, really strong right now. The only reason that we've got Animus sitting in the 4th seed is because they got unlucky and had to face Nova twice. So I don't think that Light has been looking as strong recently, and one team, definitely an underdog, They weren't even in that top 8, but you can't spell EU without DQ, so they ended up in one of those top spots. I think Cold Esports has an opportunity to make some noise.
All right, Cold Esports, an opportunity to make some noise. Shep, I see the smile on your face. How you feeling about what our colleagues got to say?
I mean, again, I think that the shout for Cold Esports is a really, really solid one. I'm still all on board for this Animus team, though. I think, like Bobby mentioned, you go up against that Nova team not once but twice. You have a lot to reflect on, and you're coming
it's
through
gonna
with
be
the best experience and best placements from last year. So I'm really.
And this is the European. These guys some of these guys are amazing. I've played against some of these guys. They're unbelievable.
Allie, okay. Last but not least, all right. Well, actually, I might go last because I got to get my pick too as well. How you feeling about this?
I'm feeling good. Honestly, I feel like I'm just going to echo everybody else and saying, Animus, obviously, heading into this, they're not in a favorable position, but we know what they're capable of, and those are some names that I even know, so that means something, right? They've been here before, but I will say a team that nobody's really brought up yet that might be a completely left ball is Limitless. We talk about that third spot, and I see them sitting in that top seed. I think that's a little bit of an underdog team going into this, so why not?
All right. So we got a lot of picks for the underdogs. We got Animus. We got Light. We got Limitless. Hell, we even got Cold Esports on the pick. What's my pick? How did nobody say the big dog's name, okay? I'm going Nova Esports, all right? We got to expect them to make it. If they didn't, that is a conversation we'll have when it gets there. But it would have been a crazy tournament for us to make it to that point. And with that being said, it is time to get this tournament underway.
What?
Bobby, Allie, take it away.
Thank you so much, Blaze. You are so right. It is time to get this first round of Switch matches started. And I feel like I was talking to Alan about this a little bit, Bobby, is that the fact that the first match sets your pace for the day. It is so important.
Yes, Opie the Wonder Dog is here.
Probably the most difficult matchup. It's the 4th and 5th seed. Animus and Axabite are going to be going at it. And I feel like that's the hardest matchup as your first one. These two teams, at least seed-wise, are the closest to each other. But historically, how do these teams match up?
Hi.
I think coming into this,
This is Opie the Wonder Dog.
You gotta be favoring Animus coming into this.
You were
So
just
many
out. You're
players that
fine.
were on stage 5 rosters last year, and on top of that, they've been going toe to toe with Nova throughout the entire duration of this year. So it's definitely going to be really tough for Axabite. They had a big pickup in Lydia, but they've got to really bring their A game if they're going to have a chance here.
I completely agree. A lot of veterans on the side of Animus who have been here
Easy,
before, and that
easy,
can
easy.
really give you the edge in a competition like this. But they could get comfortable when it comes to going up against a team like Axabite. So
Okay.
as we look at the match
Right here.
now in the series layout,
Calm down.
which team kind of looks like they favored and won this veto process, Bobby?
I mean, I feel like it's a good pick for Axabite to be able to get the standoff search and destroy.
Okay.
You want to kind of minimize the impact that a major sniper like Marvel's going to be able to have. So
Yeah.
the fact that they're maybe able to take him out of the equation a little bit more than he'd be able to on a map like Firing Range or Raid could go to their advantage, but Animus is just absolutely dirty when it comes to the search and destroy. So there's only so much you can do at that point.
And I know you were telling me earlier that when a team is really good at search and destroy, with that addition of control, it's kind of made that team a little bit more favorable in that game mode, which we don't see too often. Usually respawn teams are just that, respawn teams. But we're heading right into the first map, guys.
Oops.
Just that, respawn teams. But we're heading right into the first map, guys. It's going to be Hardpoint Raid, Animus versus Axabite. And of course, Animus is going to be the favorite into this. This is such a throwback map for me, Bobby. I personally love Raid on my likes of things. But is there
Here we go. Here we go.
do you think favors this map more than the other one?
Obviously, I would give the edge to Animus, but I think with the amount of pressure on Axabite heading into this matchup, if they're going to take down Animus, they've got to do it in 4 games. That means they've got to win all of the respawns. So they've got to come out hot right here, but it's Animus coming out guns blazing. They get the initial share of that hard point control, and Grizz going crazy already off the start.
Yeah, that was a lot of pressure on number 5 on your mini-map. That's going to be D-Rari. I mean, he instantly pushed up into the spawn after they got that initial control and flipped the rest of the team out. So already a very unfavorable position for the likes of Axabite. I mean, everybody on Animus right now, guns are just straight blazing.
Oh, Grizz on a 6 free, and there's a player right next to him, but he didn't see it right there. No surprise, a lot of KSPs. We're going to see that gun throughout the weekend. This is the pre-nerf version of the gun, so it's a very consistent one-burst SMG, even in the long range.
These guys are on their own level.
2 SKS coming out, so marksman rifle that a lot of these teams are going to be rocking, especially on the bigger maps, such as Raid. But man, definitely a convincing start right here for Animus.
Yeah, that was so unfortunate for just a second there. I'm happy to see Call of Duty Mobile has learned how to rotate as both teams were there early to try and get control of Kitchen here. And it was actually Axabite that had the first off, but Animus was quickly there to trade it out. And it's just so much pressure that it feels like Axabite has not been able to answer. The pressure was there, but the gunfights just were not. So number 5 on the side of Axabite needed to play his life a little bit more there because once again, a lot of map control here in the likes of Animus.
And right now you got Marvel on the backside. Hasn't been able to pick up that many kills, but right now his main job anchoring those spawns, doing it to perfection. Unfortunately for Animus, they're going to spawn out across the map, and with 25 seconds left, that kind of puts you in a tough position. Not a whole lot of time left to be gained. It looks like they're going to go ahead and set up over here on P3. It's been the Grizz show for them so far. He's sitting on 9, 8 for Drari as well, and definitely a good opportunity with those spawns flipping for Axabite to pick up a big chunk of the scrap time.
I will say, light at the end of total for the likes of Axabite is that this scrap time has kept this game still fairly close. They're still at 20 points, but their biggest issue now is that these specialists are getting used as well as this hill is very difficult to break. There's only so many routes of avenues, and you need to be able to get every single opening kill when it comes to this push. There's one, a trade comes out though, and that's going to be when
wow, he is blowing everybody away. Whew.
Honestly, I love this usage right here. He is completely locking down the front of his hill by himself and soaking this hill time and his streaks.
Yeah, that machine's not an operator that we've seen used a whole lot in other regions in Stage 4, and especially with the Purifier not banned. Not one that we would typically expect to see, but one of the things you got to take into account with Raid is it's longer angles than a lot of our other maps in Call of Duty Mobile. So definitely making good use of it right there, and right now Animus doubling up on the opposition. Grizz continues to slay out. He's got 13 on the board, and obviously that money hill over on P3 paying off big time, but it's a Goliath. HBC is going to be able to pick it up right there, and that's going to be a huge opportunity as he marches on into P4. And if he can get on the inside of that cubby, he's got trophies right next to him as well. They could get some big value here.
I'm going to say I'm not the biggest fan of the Goliath call right then and there. I wish he would have waited a little bit longer for that hill to pop because already there's so much pressure around the hill from the likes of Animus. But so far, they're locking it down. They are investing a lot in this hill time. They're trying to get this full 60. They're trying to get this full time to put themselves back in the game, Bobby.
And that is a huge play by Marvel, pulling out the Tempest. That is the ultimate counter for the Goliath. Instantly freezes it, and there's basically no counter. You can't throw down any amount of trophy systems, and that is a beautiful play by Animus to break right back into the hard point. Like you said, maybe a questionable call, not only on the timing of the Goliath, but also the hard point. This is an incredibly exposed hard point.
Hard point is incredibly hard to play. We played it before on the stream. It's not easy.
Value come through for Axabite, and as a result, Animus continues to stack on that lead.
Yeah, now we're heading into our final hill right here in the middle of the map, and once again, it's a lot of Axabite. It's a lot of pressure, but these gunfights are just not going their way. I mean, it's Drari, 13. He's looking for the 14th right here. He's going to get some help from his teammates, and that's going to be the shutdown. What was map control and the likes of Axabite is now slowly crumbling as all of Animus is collapsing on the middle of this hill, and nothing has really been invested. It's just been gunfight after gunfight that has been going Animus's way.
And yeah, right now, it just really looks like Axabite is, they're outmatched. They don't have the gun skill to be able to keep up right now. You already got Grizz 22. You got Cathilia stacking up the kills as well. He does get knocked off that operator.
Yeah, these guys are getting... Oh, hey, Blood Defy. I'm sorry about that. I missed your comment. I apologize. I was looking this way for a minute. Having a technical issue.
To be honest, right now, these two teams don't look super evenly matched.
Sorry, I missed you.
Definitely thinking maybe there was a chance here for Axabite when they were getting all that scrap time and still able to keep the game close, even with Grizz slaying out the way that he is. But once that Lambo hill all went to the side of Animus, I mean, it was just a beautiful hold across the board. Axabite tried to reply, but unfortunately the hill just did not go their way the way it went for the previous. So as we head into our next set of rotation, it's going to be...
Yeah, like I said, I'm sorry about that, Blood Defy. I totally missed you. I apologize. It's my bad. I'm just looking this way, trying to get everything settled.
And Raid has always been a map where Grizz has been able to dominate. We saw him rock the R9 a lot last year, and to be honest, Raid's not a great R9 map, but he's still found a way to dominate with it. So the fact that we've got now a meta that is a lot more viable at range, as well as being really strong in the close range for players that are really consistent with that initial shot, even more fitting for him. And obviously showing out right here as he now sits on 31 and basically doubling up on the next highest kills on the opposition. Lydia, when you're coming in, she was going to be one of the stronger players for Axabite. She's got 16 on the board and 18 for Denisio. But that team really struggling right now, and they've just not been able to touch the majority of the hard point time.
It's honestly looking like a little bit of a communication here on the side of Axibite. Obviously, they're getting outslayed, but it looks like they at least have their rotations done. They're going for map control. They're getting those early rotations, but when it comes to trades, it's just not there. It seems like every time somebody's getting shot at, every single yellow arrow is turning to try and get that kill, and that's just opening it up for Animus to take their trades and take the pressure that they have from the amount of players in the situation and just outslay them completely. I mean, Grizz on 35 now, Kutal is on 27. I mean, those are some serious slayers. Now I'm worried, Bobby, heading into the search and destroy. You said that also favored likes of Animus. Well, to win in such a manner in the opening hard point, it's going to be very hard for Axabite to bounce back.
Yeah, we said that if Axabite
There's so much movement going on. I know even my screen is a little bit pixelated. It's not even my stream. I know it happens sometimes on the stream, but this is actually them because it's just so.
about as lopsided as it gets. Animus showing that they came to play, and right now, if I'm Nova, I'm not feeling as confident. I think they're definitely still feeling confident, but man, oh man, Animus is not messing around.
Yeah, that's already a very scary opening matchup. I mean, Grizz 39 and 29 assists. I mean, you got
Again, Blood Defy, thank you for jumping in the chat and saying hello. Sorry, I missed you before.
The issue is the heading into that search and destroy. Yes, you might have gotten the map that you wanted, but you already lost the first respawn, so you're already down in this series. And I'm going
See a couple people on the Facebook,
team in the likes of Marl.
a couple people on the Instagram. Thank you guys for all jumping in and watching.
His back pocket now heading into that second map, Bobby. They have to completely forget that happened.
Yeah, you need a mental reset right here. I think they do have a lot of talent, and the thing about search and destroy is if there's going to be an opportunity for the underdog to make something happen, typically it's going to be in the search and destroy.
Yeah.
The fact that Animus is the opposition decreases the odds a little bit, but definitely gives a little bit of hope right here for this Axabite squad.
There is some hope. I will say I was hoping this would be a little bit of a close matchup just because it is the closest.
Somebody asked me in the chat why I don't stream on TikTok because I don't have 1,000 followers there yet. You have to have 1,000 followers to live stream on TikTok.
It really was that
So I don't have 1,000 followers there yet.
Death Machine, even when the kills were going to the likes of Axabite, he was able to hold the front all by himself. Like, he did not need his teammates in this situation. He was able to funnel all the players and stay alive long enough for his teammates to come off spawn and re-get into that hill. And like we said, Axabite, they tried to answer.
Because I like to live stream on TikTok as well.
They tried to get 60 on this basketball court, but
We live stream almost every platform.
the kills, it was Marl getting the break, and it just looks like the better overall team.
Yeah, I think especially that play with the Goliath, where they took
Yeah.
that down with the Tempest, I think that was the turning point because I felt like Axabite was starting to build a little bit of momentum right there. And honestly, it just got completely obliterated. After that happened, I think they only managed to get maybe 15, 20 points in the hard point for the entire rest of the game.
Yeah.
If you're Axabite, you got to be able to capitalize on things like that a lot more.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. And when it comes to search and destroy, so with the standoff pick, they're kind of shutting down Marvel here. They're trying to get rid of that sniper rifle. But how are they going to now shut down the rest of the team? Because it's not just Steve Arvia as well. That's going to be their big S&D player. That's going to be one of their IGLs actually in Darks as well. Their second sniper. Like, what does Axabite need to do to have a bounce back here?
I think you gotta play things slow. You cannot get over aggressive because
Okay.
that's where a lot of these teams tend to start making mistakes.
Yeah.
You give quick rounds to the opposition, gives them even more confidence, especially since you're going up against Grizz. He is a very aggressive player. If you try to get too aggressive, he will make you pay quickly. You gotta be slow, you gotta be calculated. I think a lot of it's gonna come down to the tactical usage for these teams.
Absolutely, and I would just like to reiterate how important this first matchup is. We talked about the Swiss, we talked about the format. You want to go 2-0, you make it into tomorrow. You go 0-2, you are eliminated. And so as your first setup of the day, you want to give yourself that wiggle room. You want to go up 1-0. So if you're Axabite, it is do or die now in this second search and destroy. Search and destroy teams.
Those of you guys that are on Facebook, don't forget. I also you can drop me stars and likes, and I really would appreciate it. It helps the stream.
Yeah, and Summit Control's a very interesting one because it's one of those those control maps that more often than not turns into a tedium. So if you can manage to slow down the pace, if you can manage to get the other team to be over-aggressive, and especially for a player like Grizz, if he's feeling as confident as he is, he's going to be aggressive. It's just a question of whether or not it's over-aggressive. So maybe an opportunity to bait them into that and maybe sneak away with control.
Now, to put you on the spot just for a second here, heading to the standoff search and destroy, on the side of Axabite, who's kind of the player to watch heading into that?
I feel like, Lydia, I feel like is the player to watch on this team. She came from an Illuminati team that performed really well, had some technical...
I love the words, the Illuminati team.
But obviously, she is super skilled. Anybody who's watched EU for any amount of time knows what she's capable of, and I think she's going to be their leader heading into the search and destroy.
Okay, awesome. Cool. She is sniper as well. I thought I had that in my notes.
I'm trying to remember. I know Brexa, her former teammate, is a sniper main.
Okay.
She might pull it out as well, but if I remember correctly, I think by rocking the GKS. Probably rocking the KSP, but we'll see as we get ready to hop into the search and destroy right here. We do have new rules for search and destroy this year for competitive. So if this is your first time watching stage 4, we're now going to 7 rounds instead of 6, and it's win by 2, meaning that we can go to overtime. Be interesting to see if
I love how people are playing on their phones. Like, I use an emulator on my PC, and people are playing on their phones.
Of course, we're not going to be on board with Grizz. Already looking to
I think it's pretty funny.
lines here, and he did find Lydia. He does get tagged up, but he does not get the kill. But that is some information for both sides here. Bomb is kind of out mid-map right now. Maybe just kind of wait for that pick, wait for some pressure to open up for the side of Axibite here. As you can see, they're kind of just tunneling up in this house right now. They don't want to give up anything. They don't want to give up any information. There is going to be a sniper, though, on the side of Denisio. He does spot somebody, but unfortunately, it does not connect.
Yep, both teams rocking the double snipers right now, so you got Denisio with that first blood. Seems like he has some information on the Grizz as well, and maybe going to look to line up a nade right here. Grizz, not quite the right timing with the peak, so he's going to go ahead back to spawn, and a minute off the clock already. No real map control for Axabite. It seems like they're just kind of sitting back, waiting for another one of those picks to come through. Marvel and Apollo going at it right now, and
Yeah, see, see there, see, I think if I'm not mistaken, you have to have somebody as a designated sniper, I think, on these.
Right now, because you forced Guhal to back down to give up to relieve that pressure. Now that's another blood their way. So we're in a 3v4 now as he does connect onto one, but that bomb should go down. Now 44
Yeah, the
seconds
bomb has been planted. Now they can go defuse that if they can get to it.
here on number 5. That's going to be Apollo. That gunfight's going to go his way. Now a 3v3, but again, 30 seconds. This is a lot of ground to cover if you're on the side of Animus.
And right now, both the snipers out of the equation. Gathelia picking up one, able to get that pick. Trying to see if he can get something with the nade, and it's going to connect right there. Will he be able to finish it off? He barely does. Another one around the corner, and now only one player remaining. HBC drops. And plenty of time for that defuse to go through. A little bit of
Yeah, he got it.
Already.
Yeah, they win that round. If you defuse the bomb, you automatically win the round. So
That was what, a 3v5 that they were able to pull out of the bag even after getting picked off first. That's a big round if you're Animus. Axabite, they just let that one kind of slip through their fingers. They had full sight control. They just weren't able to trade out Grizz coming through their side of things. Once again, Bomb is going to be in mid, kind of the same play here. It's going to be Lydia with the first blood onto D-Rari. So once again, it's going to be Animus on the back foot. And Miz is going to find a kill on Gridge. That's a huge one. Shut down the main Slayer on the side of Axabite. Animus. Smoke. Looks like Bomb now trying to make its way somewhere, but still, they're being a little slow about this, Bobby.
Yeah, and, it just looks like a lack of confidence, if I'm being completely honest. When you're at a 5-3 advantage and you have nobody pushing.
yeah, 5-3. That's a big advantage in this game.
They're afraid of the retake ability, whatever it is. But Axabite's still playing for the picks, but it's working. Darks is going to drop right there. You do still have a sniper in the equation in Marvel, but right now, even from the offensive side, Axabite's been able to do a really good job of finding these picks. It's all about converting right now, and you gotta think. They had a 5v2 advantage. One player drops into Denisio, but Bomb going down, 4v2 should be a very winnable round.
Yeah, very winnable. I was going to say, I like this play from Animus. They've now grouped up. They've decided to completely clear the other side of the map and try to go for a reflank here. But now that they've split up, I'm a little worried. Apollo, that is...
I think for this tournament, you have to play on your phone. I don't think they let you play on an emulator, because this way everything's fair.
Right now, Marvel 1v4 before Lydia has the read on it, she's going to be able to get the kill, cleans things up pretty quickly right there. And despite maybe not a lot of confidence, the gun skill definitely showing out right now for Exabyte. So we'll see if they can continue to convert rounds. It's not often that we see Marvel start off with 0 kills. Only a couple rounds in, so not too much to worry about, but curious to see if maybe they push up for a little bit more map control. You see the nade coming through the doorway right here, and Grizz getting aggressive off the start, but it does not pay off. We talked about an opportunity. Maybe if he gets over-aggressive to make him pay, he drops off the start right there, but Narc's able to find a trade as Apollo drops.
We talk about confidence and aggression in that play. I loved it. They instantly pushed in the house, all the players. They got that first blood. There was a trade-out sniper, but Demisio finds another kill in the back, and once again, it's that confidence. They're being so slow. Number 2, he doesn't even have the bomb, and he's pushed up on to the site. Right now, I'd like to see confidence. I'd like to see grouping. I'd like to see this bomb to go down if you're on the side of Axibite. I mean, all 3 players of Animus are over onto the A site right now. They're playing very spread out. Things could go south very quickly on the side of Axibite if they don't try and get this bomb down.
And this is where that utility...
Yeah, so you have to. The thing with this, you have to try to get the bomb dropped. That's the thing.
That's going to be Marvel. Doesn't seem like he's looking to make the play right now, but knows exactly where to look. And we may finally get a bomb plant over on the B site.
It took a minute.
Exabyte, they're just taking their sweet time right now. Marvel's going to work his way up the Deagle right to the face of Denisio. Drops him right there. Bomb is down, but it's a 3v3. And the pressure is on. Right now, Exabyte haven't looked too confident in their retakes. Dark's looking for a wallbang, not going to be able to connect. Snipers come out again. Miz gonna miss, but as long as they can continue to take away that time, the easier it becomes. And right now, Animus has got to make a move.
I love this play by Miz. He goes, he gets aggressive, over-aggressive. He finds the opportunity onto 2 players. He kind of makes them distracted for a moment, wastes some time, but oh my God, Marvel, no, oh my God! All of Animus just won every single gunfight in a like of 16 seconds left on the bombs. They all won every gunfight at the perfect moment at the same time. What should have been around for Axibite, they just got gunned by every single player.
The timing on that was so crazy because I did not see the shot that was fired from a single one of those players. But you look at the feed, and it's all Animus, so they have definitely been feeling confident on their retakes. HBC.
Oh, that was a good one.
Down Denisio. A first blood once again. He's been so good for them so far. 4 kills on the board, but really they have not been able to convert on those first bloods a whole lot, and that's the one thing that they've really got to aim to do in this matchup.
And that's so difficult, right? Especially like a round like last time, like so much was in your favor. You finally got the bomb down after wasting a minute. You had all that side's map control. You had 16 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, that was great. He looked through the scope and she got him.
On the side of Axibite, that little bit of aggression, that hoping they were going to pull through, has suddenly once again been yanked back from the likes of Animus. And already now, a 3v2. Bomb is going to be in the hands of Miz, but they're still in spawn right now. They have absolutely no control, no information on either of these sites. It is not looking good if you're on the side of Axibite.
And Ferrari just doing a great job of trusting his teammates right there. 1 HP. Knows he's going to hold this cross in case the opponent tries to push. And right there, it's Ferrari coming through and absolutely gunning those 2 remaining players for Exabyte. That's the player that we saw dominate in the Search and Destroy last year in Stage 5. And he's bringing it again here in Stage 4.
That was disrespectful, Ferrari. Come on. Both of them? You couldn't even let him get a trade? All right, well, it looks like we're going for that aggressive push once again into the likes of House. I don't know why the bomb planner is the one looking at Street right now. I feel like that one should be in the middle of the Wolfpack, but Grizz says, you know what? You guys gonna get aggressive, so am I. He's gonna find a kill, but that will get traded out, so we are back to a 4v4, and Marvel quickly makes it a 3v4, and Bomb is still in spawn right now. Once again, so much map control given up from the likes of Axibite. I would like to see them just commit to a lane, commit to a site. But this is just trades on trades on trades, and it's going to be Apollo that gets taken down. Once again, Axibite, I mean, the confidence, you can see it just dwindling away. There's just none there.
Yeah, Miz left all...
That is a blinged out sniper rifle, let me tell you.
Snipers in Marvel and Narc still alive right now, and I mean, the entry frag power that we've seen out of Grizz combined with the stealth out of Drari and then so much sniping power for Animus, it has been so difficult for Exabyte to convert on really any advantage that they've had in these matchups. So Looks like Miz might go for the plant right here. Still got some time to work with, but you got to make a decision soon because obviously that's going to give information. Takes the shot. That's definitely going to give away his location. Now going to make the wrap back toward B, but more than likely Animus going to have the read.
Still doable.
Looks like he's in his kitchen.
The fact of Miz is that I like that he seems to be one of those players that will just make that decision, that will just kind of go, will just push the lane. You can't be worrying about every single part and wasting that clock down because there's 20 seconds left. He might have caught Marvel. I didn't see him. He did see him. He gets shot at. He will now turn for the gunfight, but this is a lot of work to do as both these players of Animus are pretty split. So even if he won that gunfight, he would have had to find the other one in an amount of time. Axabite, it's looking rough here. They just need to commit, Bobby. That's really all I need to see. Like, I like the plays that they are starting to make, but when they put themselves in the favorable position, they kind of pull themselves back, and then they re-give that map control to Animus. So when they make these plays, I like them to just full push.
This is a great board.
It looks like they tried full
I play this
commit,
board a lot. I love it.
by the sniper, already a 4v5, and
Oof.
no golden bites are
And these guys are
going.
intense.
Maybe one, but this is now a 4v2.
Ooh.
Wow, Animus have just completely
Like I said, I think you have to win at least by 2.
Got obliterated.
And it's just 7, not 6 anymore. So
We flip sides. And the fact that it was that even, especially with none of the first bloods going the way of Animus in that first half, now that we flip, you see Axabite just seems absolutely lost right now.
yeah, she's
They got
sniping
picked
again.
from every angle possible
Oh.
right there, and it's Lydia dropping off the start once again.
that I wish they show. I don't know if she's on camera or not, but she's been amazing this whole couple rounds. I mean, she's been like their strongest player.
And they're winning the gunfights. They know where Axabite's going to be. That's going to be second one on the likes of Grizz. Rory will get taken down, but it is still a 4v3. This is still doable if you're Axabite, but not when you lose the gunfight on the bomb site. That's going to be A, Dawn, and Dustin. That's going to be the bomb probably getting planted here soon. Number 4 is going to be the closest. That's going to be Denisio, but is he going to be able to pick one? I don't think so.
I honestly did not know that you could shoot under that spawn tractor, so I'll have to use that next time I'm on standoff, but no surprise to see Animus 2-man advantage right here and the pressure on the snipers for Axabite. Denisio Apollo looking for some wall bangs, not able to convert, and now Apollo
Just dropping some links in my
Don't know how
discords.
Narcs missed the first one, but he's
Well,
not
not
missing two of
not
them.
my discords,
Another
but
round goes through for Animus, and they are 1 round away from taking a convincing 2-0 lead.
We were hoping Axabite might show us something special here in the Search and Destroy as they desperately needed it after that hardpoint loss, but it looks like they're just getting a little bit outclassed here by the likes of Animus. Bomb now is going to be heading its way towards mid. A little bit of aggression at 3 players here from Axabite. If they push into house here, they could get this kill on the bomb planner. Let's see some aggression, AZC. I want to see you push in.
I think if you kill the bomb, I think you can grab the bomb. I think.
Nobody can say, oh, that's 3. Oh, everybody want to come fight at once. It looks like they're giving Animus a little bit of their own medicine. Here is the commitment that we have been
Oh.
finally, a breath of fresh air for the likes of Axabite.
Yeah, I mean, to say that was a must-win round would definitely be an understatement because the game's over if they lose another. But right now,
We get what you're saying.
they're still in a really, really rough spot.
Yeah.
We talked about Lydia going to be a player that they need to come out big. She's only got 2 kills right now. Gotta have more confidence than that. And obviously, there's plenty of that happens on the map that we don't see. But
There you go.
Oh, be the Wonder Dog's tail.
one on Dedrari, who's been very difficult to deal with so far, and they find themselves now in a 4v1. So what was a 6-1 lead now looking more like a 6-3 lead unless Marvel pulls off an absolute miracle, and maybe an opportunity for Axabite to get back in the game.
And maybe a cool clip from Marvel to post on YouTube later. But I will say this.
I'm waiting for him to trip over something and turn off my entire system. Wouldn't be the first time that's happened.
In their defensive side when it comes to this map because the spread out is beautiful. They have all of every bomb site covered. Obviously, it was a 1v4 by the end of it, but we're seeing some life now, all right? 6-3. This is incredibly doable from the side of Axabite. Just don't lose that aggression. Do not lose that confidence because that is when Animus is going to bite them in the butt.
Yep, you gotta keep the pedal to the metal, and right now they're doing everything they can to stay in this. Obviously, Lydia's still holding that back alley angle. Can spot out Grizz right there. A little bit more gunpower, and that was an ego shell if I've ever seen it. Maybe he peeked it in a different angle from what I saw, but Grizz double peeking 2 players while he's 1 HP. Typically not gonna go your way. And that's going to be first blood for Axabite. They've been able to convert a little bit more on the offensive side with those. We'll see if they can, or rather on the defensive side, we'll see if they can continue to do that as Marvel drops as well.
Yeah, that was a little rogue out of Marvel. He just kind of slid in by himself and tried to chow the players on
Well,
A, and there was
I don't know if she got him or not.
there for him to even get one. My biggest issue with that, though, was that the fact that Bomb was still in spawn. They were trying to go for this A site control, but the bomb was nowhere near the
The
site.
38 seconds to the bomb, but
You're gonna have to wait for your
nope,
bomb
got
to
him.
reroute
Didn't matter.
over, get the bomb plant, and that's just giving up a lot of time, a lot of information to like to Axibyte. So now 6-4, that's gonna be 3 in a row. If you're Axibyte, if you're a fan of Axibyte, the life has been breathed into them. They are winning. They are capitalizing on their first bloods. They are winning the gunfights, and they are winning the map control. But that's gonna be Marvel with the opening blood, and this is when it gets scary. That's gonna be a following second piece. A little bit of the bleeding gets stopped by the side of HBC as they shut down the main Slayer and Grizz, but this is a lot of mid control. This is a lot of aggression from Animus right now, Bobby.
Yeah, right now, Axibyte scrambling. They know they can't lose this round, so Lydia and Apollo going to be able to back up, but Drari's on the flank right here, able to take down Lydia, and now all the pressure onto Apollo. Does not get the timing right, and that's going to be crucial information to end the round. Animus gave away a couple more rounds than they likely should have, but still able to clean things up right there.
I still won.
The 2-0 lead.
Yeah, unfortunately, Axibyte woke up just a little bit too late there in the search and destroy. I think their offensive rounds really just put them in the back pocket. They weren't able to get absolutely anything going, and when it comes to this change in search and destroy, when it comes to having to be on that offense back to back to back, you have to be able to change up your game plan. You've got to have your IGL to be able to make something happen, to make a difference happen, but unfortunately, it was just too late for the side of Axibyte. I mean, Grizz has 11 kills. I mean, he went straight from the respawn, and he went right back into the S&D and did the same thing.
Yeah, he wants to win himself an EU MVP, and he's definitely off to a hot start to do so. And I mean, you look at the consistency across the board for the rest of the players. Everybody else has 7. When you've got that level of consistency for every single player, that's not only a good sign for the match that you're in, but also for the ones coming later in the day, where you do have those tougher opponents like your Novas that you know everybody's going to be on top of their game to take them down.
Well, now we have to head into the control, and for where I come from, the control is the swing mode. The control in the best of 5 is when usually the opposite team tries to take that edge, but after a search and destroy like that, and Bobby, you let me know that search and destroy teams, when it comes to COD Mobile, they happen to be able to translate that to control as well. It's looking like Axibyte might be outclassed. The search and destroy did not go their way at all the first half. There was a little bit light at the end there, but it just was not enough. So now not only is their confidence worse than it already was in the beginning from the hard point, it's worse from when they were trying to get aggressive and the Animus just shut it down with that pitch. Now heading to the control, like, what do they do?
I mean, right now, I think the biggest thing you got to do is slow things down, and especially on the defensive side, don't play into the other team's pace. Animus is going to try to play fast and furious, and right now, if you're an Axibyte, you got to understand where your advantages lie. You got to let the game come to you and try to capitalize on those positioning opportunities. When it comes to Summit control, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of times it can turn into a TDM at the end. Typically, inside control center gets captured pretty quickly, but on the outside catwalk, it really kind of turns into a toss-up, and I think the biggest factor is going to be their patience.
I completely agree with you. I definitely think Axibyte needs to somehow pull the pace into their favor, and that's just going to be about power positions for me going into the Summit control. Power positions and the use of their specialists. Summit is a very small map, and when it comes to these close contested, like you said, it comes down to TDM here in the
Yeah, Summit is a really small map. I usually use a shotgun on that map just to try to get through it. I mean, it's just such a close. I mean, you can't afford to have too many times where you need 1-2 shot kills. That's it. Any small map is like that.
They were in a situation where they were on the back foot, so they kind of had to make those decisions. They had to make those. We need to make a change. We need to have something big happen now. So we're gonna go ahead and jump the gun. But on the side of Animus, they're gonna have that slaying power, and they're gonna have those specialists as well. So it's gonna be about playing about the pace if you're on the side of Axibyte and forgetting about the past 2 maps.
Yeah, I think the pacing of the operators is going to be absolutely crucial. And the interesting thing is we don't have a ban on the Purifier. It is incredibly rare that we don't see the Purifier banned just because it is such a strong operator in Call of Duty Mobile right now. That's definitely going to be something that comes into play. And the one thing that could potentially happen is maybe some off-meta specialists.
So they didn't ban the Purifier. If you don't know, is the gun with the flamethrower. If you don't know, a lot of times they ban that for the contest because it's such. I mean, it's an unbelievable. It's like it's a specialist weapon. A lot of times they ban it, but they didn't ban it here.
I think I'm looking a little bit at Lydia for a bounce back in that search for Shoy. I feel like maybe that was a mode that she should have been a little bit more comfortable in. So heading in the control, maybe gain some confidence back. But also, I'm looking at Miz because I feel like when we were on his point of view, I believe he had 9 kills at the end of it. He was comfortable in that search and destroy, and he looked like a player that once he made a decision, he was going to follow it through. So I'm hoping to maybe take some control from the likes of Miz heading into that Summit control. Wow, control. How did I use that twice in a sentence when I didn't even mean it? Both in the same way. I hope that he takes some control heading into the control and gives his team some confidence and some more solid game plans.
Yeah, I think the player to watch for Animus, no surprise, is going to be Grizz. Very aggressive, and Summit is going to be a map that
Summit is a brutal map.
So we'll see if he can continue that dominance all the way through right here as we do get ready.
That's a great sniping though. That was a good sniping map too though, because if you're up on the roof, you can snipe people off from the top.
Sports of Lake, this will be your first taste of the new game mode that has replaced domination in this year's World Championships. Off the bat, it is going to be Exabyte on the defensive side right here, and they're able to come through with a big one right there. Grizz looking to push through for some map control, but he gets shut down as well. And a 3-life lead already for Exabyte.
Yeah, already lost the aggression. If you don't know how control plays out, there is 2 objective sites. You need 3 ticks on both sides. If you're the offensive team, you're trying to get these ticks completed for both the A site and the B site. Obviously, if you're on the defense, you don't want them to touch anything. You don't want them to get any ticks anywhere, because if they get 6, you lose the round. But again, slaying power instantly in the hands of Animus right here. Already a life lead as well, 24 to 20.
Yeah, I mean you could see. I mean he's got 1-shot, 2-shot kills. That's it.
Trying to get something done here over
I mean,
the A site, but he has no help. He has no cavalry with him. Number 3 has slipped by though. That's going to be on to the likes of Axabile here. It's going to be Narks trying to slip by. Excuse me, Animus. They flip sides.
And right now, it looks like Animus is
Easy boy.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Grizz only 2 kills off the start, a little bit slower than expected. I'd say Exabyte has done a really good job of countering and playing a lot more patiently. It does look like we are going to have Animus looking to push through and get some of that initial A control. A tick already gone through. Make it 2 right here as they do get spotted.
Oh, he got. See, that's what happens sometimes. You try to shoot at people and then you end up getting hit from the side or something like that.
Slaying on the side of Axabile at the beginning. I didn't realize the colors had switched, but Animus quickly brought it back now with a 2-life lead on the likes of them. They've already got A and they're on B now as well, so very quickly the tides have turned. The second tick is not going to come through just yet. Some gunfights are going to have to come down before that pressure is relieved. It's on Goot right now. He is going to be able to get that final kill, relieve some pressure.
I like his name is the Kingslayer.
It's going to be Lydia up next. She gets that kill. 1 tick has gone down. 9v10 now. A lot of TDM going on now, right, Bobby?
Well, yeah.
Right now, it's going the way of Animus. If you're Exabyte, you gotta back things up. Obviously, you don't want to give up that B control, but you gotta understand where your advantage lies. Make good use of your utility, your tacticals. Try to bait them into that B site. Obviously, there's a lot of time left. If you sit back and play passive, you might be able to find a way to come through, but especially with a 2-life disadvantage, they've got to go big right here. Narc's going to drop, and now only 1 life separating the 2. Grizz way pushed up, an opportunity, but he gets taken down as well. Now it's 3-3. It doesn't look like that final capture is going to go through. More than likely, coming down to lives, the utility going out for Drari. Let's see if he can capitalize.
That is so unfortunate for Grizz. He was pushed up into their spawn for so long. He was able to find 1 player, but I guess he just wasn't ready for the immediate chow off of spawn. A lot of trades going here, but it's looking like...
Oh, Grizz! He could have had it! He was point blank shooting him in the back and missing every spray, and it's Exabyte.
That was close.
Coming through with
That was
Drari.
real close.
Oh, no.
That's paying.
Oh, big
Oh,
swing and a
that's
miss
pain.
right there. Oh my gosh, that was incredibly winnable. Obviously not an easy round, but that 1 kill goes a different direction, and just like that, you got Animus in the lead. We do see the operators already starting to come out. Looks like Exabyte doing a good job of pacing them. Denisio and Apollo still holding on to theirs. Lydia capitalizing and already able to find a couple.
Big map control out of them right now. I mean, Miz pushed up. He's got this lane shut down. He should get this kill on the Narcs, but there is a lot of pressure now, and he is by himself. Though I love that he's playing his life right here, and he is able to find that kill. A little bit of help comes from the other side. On the likes number 2, it's going to be HBC.
That's the thing. He's by himself.
Interesting hunter-killer drone. It
Oh.
But looks like it is going to be Exabyte getting a decent amount of control right here. They're not going to be able to get that final take, but Apollo, another kill goes through. They've still got the 2-life advantage, and now some of the operators coming out on the opposition. Drari, Gothilla, both going to get shut down off of their operators, and that's going to be a big loss for them. A lot tougher to defend that A site without that extra firepower, especially with additional kills going through. Looking like there's a very good chance we see another Exabyte round.
And you know what? I was saying, hopping off that at Search and Destroy, I was really looking at Lydia to have a big turnaround, and she's got 12 right now, leading in the slaying on the side of Axibite. Big turnaround for them. They are looking like a very different team now into this control. With a 2-life lead, make that 3. Miz finds another one, will get traded out. That's going to be A-side gone now.
Oof.
Just trying to get that pressure onto B, but at least from history's past, from what Bobby told me, a lot of these matches end up being a little bit of TDM, ending on that live. So a lot of map control here on the side of Axibite.
Wow, a wasted operator. Obviously,
Wow, that was intense.
gets the follow-up damage
Oh,
with the
she got another one.
right there, but immediately knocked off of it regardless. Exabyte
Unfortunately, there's only 2 people on camera. That's the only problem.
on a 6, make it 7 life advantage up against a team like Animus. They
That's
seem to
intense.
completely flip the switch, and if they don't win this control, it's a big missed opportunity for them, as only 4 lives remain now for Animus.
I will say, I wish with the amount of rail and map control that they had, that they stacked onto the point. That is something that we see in the CDL a lot as well, is that they'll have a lot of map control, but they will not stack the point and end up losing the round because the other team, you cannot get overconfident, because even though Animus only has 3 lives, it is Animus that we are talking about, and if they get on a groove, if they get this map control like we're seeing right now, they are not losing a gunfight currently. So maybe a little bit more objective focus if you're on the side of Axibite. It's still not the most unfavorable situation if Miz is winning gunfights like that, so still 30 seconds here to work with.
When they get shut down immediately, and just like that, Axabite takes the round. That's a 2-0 lead. The map control was looking really good for Animus right there, so it seemed like they were going to be able to close the gap, but a couple gunfights, couple timings don't really go their way, and just like that, it's Axabite closing things down. They now find themselves back on the defensive side.
And my dog is getting into trouble.
In a 3-0,
Opie.
maybe gaining that momentum might give them more of a chance heading into a hard point as well. And this series might.
There's a bunch of guys in the Twitch stream. If you guys want to jump in.
It seemed like it was over, but a lot of life here being breathed into the lights of Axibite. It is going to be the first 3 kills going to the likes of Animus, so quickly evened out from Axibite. I mean, the map control is just gorgeous right now. Grizz is going to be pushed up and able to find one. The biggest thing right now is staying alive. He's going to find a second one. That's a lot of B control. I'd like to see some help, some map pressure from the side of Animus to make
Oof.
their way over here.
And that is a brutal gun that he's using right there. I mean, that's 1 2-shot death. I mean, that's.
You just got to get
You just gotta be careful.
And that's going to be Animus right now.
Oh, somebody got her.
That seemed like a pretty big lapse in communication.
That is such a blinged out gun. Every one of her guns is bling.
Walk all the way upstairs and shoot a player's just back turn pre-ADS. Like, that's information your teammate needs to have. And
Oh, got her.
to happen against a team like Animus, give them an inch. They will take a mile. Marvel, or actually Gothilla, able to get a big kill right there. Beautiful turn on the bottom side. And right now, it's Animus getting the majority of the control over on the B side. You got to think, if they get that locked in, it should be done and dusted for this round, especially with how easily most of these teams have been able to capture A.
A little bit of an aggressive chow there out of Gothilla. I mean, he just tried to slide out and fight those 2 players on the staircase. He may have had the high ground, but he got shot down very quick. So no more map control. If you're Animus on this side, 15 to 12, 28 seconds to work with. You got to start working on this ticks. Go towards this B side. But they
Oof.
are pushed back right now. Now some street
No
units
kidding.
getting put in. Jari's going to be pushed up and spawn. Maybe go for a couple of kills. But he's got to actually finish them for it to be anything meaningful back here on this side of the map.
And it
Is this the
feels like
Purifier?
Animus is overcommitted to this
That's the
team.
Purifier, I
Now,
think.
they don't have a whole lot here. And Drari's so pushed up, but they need people on the objective. There's only 8 seconds, and he's sitting here trying to spawn trap them. Marvel's going to pull out the Purifier. Should be able to find 2, but he gets shut down. Not a lot of time, but Narc's gonna
Yeah, but if he has the Purifier, he can even it up
and that's
pretty
gonna
quick.
give them a whole
But I guess it didn't work out for him.
They still sit down 2 lives, but with Drari getting pushed into control center right here, might be able to find 1. He does exactly that, and the Purifier comes out.
Yeah, it's on Drari right now, and he will get shut down the second he gets 1 kill with the Purifier. So what should have been an opening play, I mean, there is just no help. He had no pressure around him from his
This is an intense round.
Lydia's gonna pay.
Again, when you have small boards like this, I mean, it goes quick.
I'm not really entirely sure what happened for Animus, but they just could not seem to get a grip, and especially the unusual part of it, they were getting outslayed the entire time, which hasn't happened in any other of the other matchups so
Yeah.
far. So maybe a weak point for them. Maybe control is something that they've struggled, or maybe Axabyte's just put in that much time and they're starting to snowball the momentum a little bit. Tough
I'm
to
happy to
say.
see. I'm happy to see that it kind of goes both ways. That the team
Du- du-
that
du-
goes into the control on the other side,
Du-
that's going
du.
to be where the start is. That's going to be where the change is made. Obviously, they needed to win that map stay line in the series. HBC is going to have 23 kills to his name. What's crazy is because by second round, he did not have the most layouts. That was going to be Lydia with 12. So the fact that HBC turned up like that so much there in the end, I mean, they were able to shut down the entire likes of Animus here. I mean, Grizz, got 17 across the board for most. Narcs with 16. D-Rar is 15. I mean, just a straight shutdown, to be honest.
And it just goes to show you how well Axabyte played it. I don't think any of the rounds actually went down to tick control. I think it all came down to TDM. So the fact that they were able to win 3-0 with a very
3-0. That's
small
great.
light
Good for them.
advantage is really, really impressive for them. So take a look at the highlights right here. And to be honest, this is one of the closest 3-0s I've ever seen.
Yeah, it definitely
Yeah, that was
was
really
very
close.
in lives there, especially when Axabyte and Animus started to come back there just a little bit. I mean, he's looking right at
And
him.
he's
Oh yeah, that was great right there.
That's pain if you're Grizz, but honestly, it was a 3-0, so there was still a lot of work to be done, even if they were able to come back in that round, maybe pull some of that confidence away from Axabyte. But heading into game 4, now that's when things start to get scary. Now we need to see Axabyte has gained.
Well, I think you have to win. You have to win by 2. So yeah, there's the purifier, which usually they ban that, but they're letting it go this time, which is fine. But usually it's banned during tournaments. I think they should let it go. I mean, that's such a great weapon.
You're looking at Grizz, you're looking at him from that first hard point and the sprees that he was capable of going on. Now as we head into takeoff, you're gonna have to have somebody to match that on the side of Axabyte. And then right now you gotta be looking at HBC. We saw what he was able to do turning up in the end of that control. He needs to be able to translate it here into the hard point.
I will say, Takeoff Hardpoint seems to be one of those maps that it always comes down to the final hardpoint to decide. It seems like it doesn't matter how evenly matched or how unevenly matched the teams are, that it just really, it seems to always come down to P3. So I'm curious to see if that happens right here, especially.
At least they're playing good music today.
Building some of that momentum.
Yeah.
Seems like they've got an opportunity to at least make things close right here. And
Somebody's asking what that is behind me. Well, the game controller, obviously. Iron Man and then Batman.
And it's been about to be ejected for me, right? So like we're thinking about that first hard point. I mean, Axabyte was
Obviously, that's the
like, they
American
were
flag,
trying to go for
obviously.
that early map control. They
But that
understood
doesn't
the
really fit
situation
behind
that
me.
They were in. They were just simply getting outslayed. So now, after having that control, after that having that hot 3-0, after everybody getting into the slaying compartment, heading into this next hard point, I'm definitely expecting it to be at least a little bit closer, just a little bit more.
Yeah, I think
slaying power. They're going to be having those rotations now, and like Bobby is now informed.
Yeah, that's right. They're gonna. I think they have to 3 rounds. They have to rotate.
Into takeoff hard
So
point.
different
It's
teammates
to
are gonna
see
play
now
now.
as those two teams head to
So
head.
this is kind of sometimes when things can go
They didn't
south
like
for
Samus.
somebody.
We thought they had complete control after that search and destroy. After that hard point, it was abysmal. But we see some life out of Axabyte.
yeah, and we knew they were a talented team. COD Mobile, to be honest, is an incredibly momentum-based game.
Okay.
So you can see things flip on their head very quickly. I'm still expecting Animus to have the edge in this matchup. Obviously, you got Grizz, and he's been pretty much unstoppable outside of that control. You'd expect to see that likely come into play when you've got so many close quarter combat encounters like you're
Yeah.
going to have in Hardpoint. It's going to be really tough to counter him.
I will say, for the likes of Animus, it was just about them getting that one hill that really like surged them forward to get that edge on Axabyte. I want to see that on the flip side. I want to see Axabyte take that edge and try to go for an early 60, try to go for a full hold, try to go for what we call a money hill. So on the side of Axabyte, there is momentum in their favor, but they cannot again get overzealous just because they got the hot 3-0 in that summit control because they're heading to another respawn. Animus is a very good.
Yeah, this could be
team.
intense now.
Heading out of stage 3, ended up dropping now.
I think if you have to win 4, but you have to win by. I think you have to win 4, but you have to win by 2. So if the other team doesn't win, they're out.
It's to be honest, if we're talking about money hills, I think the hard point that you really got to look
Oh, I like
on
this board.
map is
This is one of my favorites.
Okay.
P1, pretty much a toss-up. P2, it's really trying to get spawns for P3, and
Yeah.
P3 is just kind of absolute chaos. So we'll see if Axabite can come through right here. That early control of the inside of stadium going to be crucial. And right off the bat, we do see trades for both teams. No surprise to see the SKS is coming out. A lot of high ground opportunity that these teams are going to capitalize on.
It looks like time already lost control going the side of Animus, but it is a little bit back and forth again. P1, it is very open, it is very overzealous. It's going to be a little chaotic. As you can see, even the spawns have now become like a sandwich on the side of Axibite, forcing Animus in the middle, but they're able to read it. Narcs finds two. That's a lot of map control. That's going to be the third kill. That's going to be nobody inside of Axibite close enough to contest for quite a minute here, Bobby.
Yep, 26 seconds already, and
Yeah, they are going right through here, man.
BC gonna look to push in and able to win the gunfight on the inside.
Ooh.
But that high ground control gonna be crucial. You see Marvel, you see Denisio pulling out the SKSs. It's actually gonna
So, Veronican, I have the high ground.
And Narc's gonna be able to pick up the rest.
Every time they say that, that's all I can think of is Star Wars, the third one,
For that stadium control,
with Anakin and
get some
Obi.
crucial time here on P2.
Lydia and Miz collectively sitting with 4 now. Lydia will find another kill, but definitely falling a little bit behind here in the early stages of this hard point. 42-5 as we head into P2. That is 2 trades going out on both sides. It looks like most of the pressure here is going to be from the side of Axibite, but their biggest issue right now is that Guzala was just contesting for so long. Now finally some time. Never mind, that's going to be 3 dead from the side of Animus. HBC.
Oh!
That is a big 3-piece for a lead that could have already gotten out of hand. Now some time going to the way of Axibite.
And P2 is really going to be concussion of duty mobile. There are so many entry points for those nades to come through, and so
Well, yeah.
long angle for the concussion to have value. You really got to make sure that your trophy systems are going down. And right now, Axibite doing a phenomenal job of that. Hipfire not going to land for Lydia, but Narcs 1 HP should be easy to clean up, and just like that, Miz able to do just that. Right now, Gadalia trying to win that gunfight. It wasn't a pretty one, but it was a win nonetheless.
Yeah.
Pick up a little bit of scrap time as Lydia looking to push through. Not favorable spawns right now for P3, but a couple of Animus players going to spawn on the opposite side.
Oh.
That is truly unfortunate. Huge door right here for Axabite to push in.
Well, yeah.
Unfortunate, I say a beautiful situation because number one, Marvel actually spawned in the back, so that kind of forced a pinch that they didn't know was going to happen. On the side of
Yeah, that's the only thing. When you respawn in the middle of a fight like that, sometimes you're done. You don't even have a chance to. You don't even have a chance to respond. You just get killed. I mean, and I know people say this not supposed to kill in the respawn, but you're in a contest for $75,000. You're gonna kill in the respawn.
I mean, it does a little bit of damage, enough pressure to get his teammates into the hill. The gunfight's gonna go their way. Unfortunately, no. But at least they were able to contest for just a moment. But like we saw in the first hard point of the series, Bobby, already a large lead in the hands of Animus.
These two teams looking a little bit closer, at least on the first couple hard points. The thing we really got to pay attention to, who gets that early control for P4, and right now, no surprise, it's Grizz getting pushed out for that map control. He's got 10 already. He's got that high ground control, and right now, if Marvel can win this gunfight on the bottom side, Miz has an opportunity. Purifier comes out. Deagle not going to be able to turn, though, and Marvel picks up that crucial kill to secure the early map control.
Ooh, that was disrespectful. That was disrespectful out of Marvel there, which should have maybe been a favorable situation for Axibite to get some sort of map control. Falls apart, but off the spawn, they're actually going to be the closest to the hill, so they're going to be able to force their way in. But Guzala, he's got the Inferno out. He's just lighting people on fire here. Once again, holding by himself, waiting for his teammates.
He's lighting everybody up there.
Get one kill to get yourselves into the hill, and they weren't able to do it. Some more time just continuing to go to the side of Animus. Axibite just cannot answer to the amount of slaying, the amount of aggression from the likes of Animus. As soon as they get control, they are pushing out and getting into your face and getting into your spawn. And Axibite just cannot respond.
And right now, Animus is trying to flip spawns, but they just can't do it. They've got the reinforcements on the inside of the hard point, so they're able to maintain that control. One player going to spawn out, but it's just confusing spawns left and right. And unfortunately for Miz, 2 players for Animus going to spawn behind him. They're actually going to push for that top side of Stadium. And right now, almost 100-point lead as that momentum and control has not carried through so far for Axabite.
Bobby, I wanted to believe you that this was going to end closely on that P3, but it's a 137-50 lead right now in the hands of Animus. Axabite's got a lot of work to do to put them themselves back in the game, and they're starting to do it here on the second set of rotations on this P1. But their biggest issue, Gudalo is now called a Goliath, and that is slowly making its way towards the mid-map. They might not even need it as 2 kills go their way, but HBC quickly trying to stop that bleeding.
Once again, not a huge fan of this Goliath bullet. That's probably the worst hard point that you can possibly use a Goliath on. There is absolutely zero cover. Unless you're stacking 4 trophy systems on top of his head, you're not going to get any value out of that. So that was a big swing and miss for Animus. They're still going to have the hard point control. But once again, would definitely like to see a little bit more calculated usage for those Goliaths for them.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was a little bit of
insanity.
a especially
Hang on, guys. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back, okay?
like, you have
Just
to,
gonna
log
go to the
into
bathroom real quick.
the map and then maybe got 1 kill and then instantly blew up. But I mean, the lead is still in the hands of Animus. Even with a call like that, it's 146 to 76. Active Battles put themselves a little bit back into the game. Maybe in this P2, we saw what they were able to do in the first set of rotations. Maybe they can do it again here and be able to put themselves back, maybe favorably so, put themselves in the lead. But a lot of contest, but a lot of pressure.
Yeah, looks like a good start right here for Exabytes. They're trying to get their way back into this game. Obviously, Purifier going to be able to find 1, and HBC should be able to regen here, but doesn't matter. Grizz got a Purifier on the opposite side. He's going to be able to find 2, and now pushes up for that control for Animus. Not losing by 100 points anymore, so that's a good sign for Exabyte, but they do still have a lot of work to do, and that would have been nice scrap time to have. 20 seconds early, already rotated on over to P3. Would have liked to see them apply a little bit of pressure, because that amount of time is now going to open up an opportunity for, before the hard point even pops, might be able to see Animus push in, and there's Grizz on the top side with the Purifier.
Yep, that's a little scary if you're on the side of Axe Battle, but they did pull out the Goliath. Now, the usage on this hill, I'm actually a big fan of. If your teammates can shut down the other lanes, you really just gotta focus on one, and that's gonna be the front. But one player gets in the back, now the Goliath has turned his head. He's trying to go back and forth and back and forth. Where are your teammates? How are none of them getting these kills? There's a Goliath in the hill. There's just no way number 3 on your minimap Narcs is going to be able to stay alive here. But the time is going to the hands of Exabyte, so they're putting themselves back to this game. This is a beautiful hold out of them. Maybe a full 60 going their way. 175 to 112. They could be 175 to 150 here if they hold the rest of this time. But Animus, right back in, Bobby.
And if you're Exabyte, you cannot afford to have 40-20 splits. You got to be able to get 50, 60 seconds to get yourself back in. We talked about the importance of that Tempest to counter the Goliath, and they did it again right there. Obviously, you do get some good value out of your Goliath. You're able to get, 30, 40 seconds on the hard point. Once again, great counter for Animus, and they're able to capitalize on that operator. Something we're definitely going to see a lot of these top teams do to counter the Goliath.
The biggest issue now, though, is that they just have no map control heading to this next hill. I mean, just absolutely none. It's going to be all of Animus on the inside. Narcs has 33 kills to his name on side of on Exabyte. I mean, you got HBC with 28. He has slowed down heavily since the beginning of this game. It's 210 to 119 now. I mean, they have to be able to play perfect hard point. Maybe you can start here. They do get the pressure outside of the hill, but 3 members are still going to be here, still trying to get these trades, still trying to lock down the front. But the gunfights are going the way of HBC. I said his name, and now he's trying to light the kill feed back up once again. But perfect hard point, Bobby. It's not looking possible from the likes of Exabyte.
Yep, it's just an all-out slay fest, and right now you get the good spawns. If you're Animus, it's going to be tough to flip those, and 16 seconds more than likely going to go their way. That'll put them only about 10 points away from the win and the advancement toward the upper side of this Swiss bracket. So, Cathillia looking to shut down on the inside. Denisio, probably a one-tap there with the SKS. Little bit lucky, if we're being honest, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Doesn't even matter. The hard point going back into control for Animus, and only 13 seconds needed for them to close this one out.
And they could shut it out here on this P1. 60 seconds to work with, only need 9 more to win. And all of the kills are going to the side of Animus. There are no trades happening right now. It is just all lighting up blue. That's going to be 250 to 126. And Animus 3-1. Fairly dominant win.
Yep, that's what we expected them to do.
Yeah.
And we knew if we were going to see a win for Exabyte, they had to win it in the hard points, and they were not able to do it right there. It was definitely a really solid performance in control. And definitely don't count this team out. They are 100% capable of making it top 3 and getting one of those stage 5 spots. But looking at the scoreboard, there's one player in the positive for Exabyte, and that tells the majority of the story.
Can I just talk about Narcs has 2 minutes and 56 seconds in hail time, and Marvel has 8. I mean, you kill whore, Marvel. God, get in the hell. You know what? If Narcs is soaking like that, you can do whatever you want, Marvel. But he has 39 kills to his name as well. That's going to be your idea. That's going to be your big player on this side of Animus right now. And on the opposite position, Miz and Apollo, unfortunately, were just unable to get anything going. HBC slowed down a little bit there near the end of the game, where Denisio had finally started to pick it up. It was just too late, unfortunately.
In Marvel's defense, his main role to hold those high ground positions with the SKS. He did a solid position of it, but
He won the series.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters at the end of the day.
Looking at the scoreboard, obviously a little bit confusing for the one win for Exabyte to be as dominant as it was with a 3-0 in control. Not really what you tend to expect to see, but as expected, Animus going to move on and should be very, very interesting to see, because I think there's a very good chance that they end up playing Nova once again in that second round, assuming Nova wins their matchup. So those are what most people would consider to be the top 2 teams in Europe right now. It'll be interesting to see if we get an early preview of the finals.
I will say my biggest worry is that control from the likes of Animus. It could just be Exabyte might have had the edge for some reason. That might have been a game mode that they have been focusing on. But if you're Animus and you're fighting for that spot, when going up against a team like Nova, I'm a little bit worried, because they're seeing that series, they're seeing that control, and they're like, wow, these guys can't get anything going as long as we apply the pressure on those objectives. And so that could be a map that's right out. But we got to see what the Death happens to say after Animus with a 3-1 win. Blaze, take it away.
Thank you so much, Allie and Bobby. What a fantastic cast that was. There is so much to really kind of talk about this series. It was a 3-1 victory, but, you know, we had a lot of superstars in this matchup. But before we hop into that, I told you guys we had some other matches going down, and we'll bring you that action if we can. So we're going to hop into Light versus Prometheus as they head into map number 3, Control. And you guys get to get a little tri-cast from your desk as we kind of talk about the last series and talk about this one coming up. But the maps up there on the board, 250 to 221 there was the raid. And we saw map number 1 go over towards Prometheus, I believe
That's
is.
Light.
That's going to be Light. And then Takeoff 7-5 Prometheus. That was a close series. Shift, you were watching it. Tell me a little bit about this series.
This is, I mean, look, here's the thing about these 2 teams. This was a matchup that they were looking at when they played in the Mobile Masters, and Light lost this matchup. So this is a pretty recent rematch coming through, and this is why we're continuing to say that literally anything can happen in these opening rounds, because, I mean, it's a tight hard point, and then a 2-round search and destroy that just barely misses out on overtime here, Beef Mommy. I don't know. Prometheus just showed up to play.
I mean, we already knew that these were going to be close games today.
Yeah.
I feel like even the Nova and Cole game, which we weren't able to see, that was a 3-0, but they were really close, and now it's going to be the same point over here. So as Light and Limitless, we need to see Limitless just absolutely bring it to the table. Obviously, with Light, they have been an absolutely great team here, but obviously they're going to have a little bit of a hard time going up against Prometheus.
I mean, it's one of those things that you just look at the 2 rosters on paper, and you just assume Light should have this no problem.
Exactly.
Right? Like, there's really not a lot of comparison over the last calendar year where you sit there and say, oh, Prometheus could battle. But hey, you know, I was the first one to admit when we watched the opening loading in video, Inferno was super overconfident, and you just do not want to overlook anybody, because like you had mentioned, just again, a 3-0 that we saw, just the report of the map count between Cold Esports and Noah, but all 3 maps were tremendously close. Also going on is the Zidium and Limitless game. That's going to probably go to a map 4. Actually, it's definitely going to go to map 4. Well, the first 2 maps were super tight. So there have been no blowouts anywhere in this opening Swiss round, and that continues to be the case here, even though Light has a pretty solid look here in the Control, at least early up 1-0.
I'm really liking the hardpoint games here, because I feel like the only far away hardpoint that we've had was actually our first one, Animus versus Exabyte. Exabyte just had a struggle here, but everyone else in the scoreboard, you already see it. Light versus Prometheus is 250 and 221, where Light absolutely had a better time. But I mean, they're close games, and I really just want to point out, Cold and Nova, it was a difference of 8 points.
That was, I'm telling you, there's going to be some overconfidence, I think, for some of the teams that we kind of listed as the favorites. And hey, that's why we also backed it up by saying this was going to be the tightest region from top to bottom in competitive.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
We'll see what Light can do here, trying to correct
Testing,
after this.
testing, 1, 2, 1, 2.
So far, so good. Although
Testing,
they are
testing, 1, 2, 1, 2.
here trying to finish off the second round, down just a couple of lives. Progress being made on B. And the
Testing,
defense is
testing,
kind
there
of
we go.
slow to react to this, largely speaking. Even though you kind of look over towards what the kill sharing looks like, and it's been pretty even, really across the board on both sides. No real pop-off players, no one really falling behind the mark. So this comes down to who's got the better team chemistry as the retake starts to come through.
Now, sticking to that, Bravo already third tick already ensuing, so that's gonna be.
Hey,
hard.
thanks,
Obviously,
Calvin
they're
Green Jr.
having that one map over
Appreciate it.
I'm looking at the other side. They don't have any kind of presence when it comes to like the.
Nice
long
comment. He
range,
says
so
to
that's
me,
gonna be very
finding your
hard.
stream is like finding a fresh $100 bill.
They are gonna be having
Makes
that
every
one
day
map,
better.
so in a map like Fire Range,
Stream
it's
is
not gonna
awesome.
be that
Thank you for
difficult to
doing
have
it.
a sniper, actually.
Always nice to hear
So
positive
far,
feedback.
So good for both of our squads, and it's just been a
Thank you very much,
offensive
Calvin.
here on Fire and Range. Just a lot of confidence here in our rotations. Nothing but slaying out, having 2 offensive victories here so far. And now we kick off round number 3 to see who can really get a lead in this series. Anyone standing out so far, you guys?
I think my eyes is not necessarily on anyone standing out, but you have to, if you're a Light fan, really put a spotlight on General Gore. He's the guy filling in for Don Lai, who was a huge X factor for this team throughout Stage 3. And Gore doesn't really have the competitive history at the same level as the rest of his teammates. And, just to kind of speak on it largely for the entire region, I think this region can be classified by some of our favorite teams. Who has the best 5th man? Because even in that first matchup, watching Animus play, really impressed with what Cathilla was able to do. He's kind of the newer guy, quote-unquote, on the block. Not the same kind of competitive history as the rest of his team, and he performed at a really high level. So when you start to compare teams like what we just saw from Animus to Light, my eyes go immediately to General Gore. And the good news is he's right up there at the top of the kill leaders.
Yeah, before this broadcast, we were absolutely talking about that. But then the question is,
He's like me. He reloads a lot.
new teams.
Because you want a full gun when you're fighting something like this.
Their way into a better situation, which I feel like they're doing an absolutely great job at. They do have life advantage right now, 5 life advantage for them. And you know what? So far, so good for them because I feel like everyone's delivering. Every single kills that they have are pretty evened out.
Yeah, Blizz, I think the biggest thing that we have to keep our eye on throughout the entirety of the day, maybe even just through the weekend, is one of 2 things. For your favorites, it's that 5th player.
So somebody asked if we're going to cover this tomorrow. I'm going to try. It depends on the day.
Who's gonna be that standout?
But we'll try tomorrow to watch it.
Really good job kind of looking over towards this Prometheus squad and kind of naming out
At least maybe in the morning we will.
high hopes coming into the weekend.
And especially with a tournament like this in
Yeah.
stage 4, the regional playoffs, where we're going to start eliminating teams and only so many can qualify. This is where you have to show what you're made out of. This is where you have to bring the best version of yourself for your squad in order to make it through. And we are seeing, well, I think this was our first defensive round. Actually, I don't know.
That was
offensive.
capture. Yeah, offense by capture right there.
Yep, another offense, and that's one of the first captures that we saw in control so far throughout the day.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of changes in COD Mobile this season, from control to the S&D and to the hard point. And I gotta be honest, I like a lot of them, and we are seeing more action, more gameplay, and the best teams come out on top. But as we kick off round number 4, it's been a little electrifying so far.
It's been an intense round, that's for sure. Woof. You can see, I mean, this whole round has been crazy intense.
Looking to start getting some extra ticks here. And the second tick looking to come through here as we're on board here with Brickster.
I like how the right has Snoop Dogg as their logo for their people playing.
I feel like Firing Range is one of those maps that you can definitely capture both of those points. Because
By the way, that new movie with Jamie Foxx that's on Netflix has Snoop in it. If you're interested, take a look and watch that. It's actually really good if you want to check out a decent movie.
I feel like they distracted Prometheus somehow, making them think that it's going to be a deathmatch, but no, they just didn't get to see it. That B was already being ticked off, and A just quickly like that captured already. So, you know what, a really good start for both of these teams, and I feel like it's still going to be a very difficult situation for Prometheus to go and overtake.
Another update I saw it on our second monitor. I believe Zidium just took the control in their matchup versus Limitless 3-2. So that series continues to be paper thin margins between the 2 squads.
Hey, Roy. Roy made it. Roy put a comment on our page. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. He wrote, really enjoying watching. Thank you very much.
At the moment, are
Thank you, Roy.
favoring the defenders. And one of the things that we saw from Light in their last offense was their ability to very strategically and very methodically stretch that defense out by trying to find avenues to multiple zones at the same time. And there's a lot of trust that comes into the players that end up going over towards B in that particular round. if you can find a way to get 1 or 2 players through tires and just keep your life, keep going on and off the zone, force the defense to have to contest you, that's where you can really take an advantage in the life count. And we're kind of seeing the same thing here for Prometheus, who were able to get around tires for a minute, lose a lot in the middle of the map through 10, and this is turning into just great slaying for them as they just have light trapped backside Jeep.
And you're absolutely right about that. I mean, usually you get to see players being stacked in A and B just being left alone, and Light was able to take advantage of that. And now 2 lives just left here for Light. That's going to be very difficult, but Hez still hanging on by a thread. Tries to get 1 more, and there you go. Even things out of 2 and 2, and we're finally down here. 1 more round for both of these teams, and we're going to be switching sides here. And Blaze, what do you think about what's going to happen here, especially with the...
Yeah, they always switch sides.
Light gave Wild on the offensive side.
Oh, man, you know what? When it's coming down to this one, I'm looking over here towards Hez. He's been having a great game so far. Yeah. And when you think of just about this fire range and the size of this map and the lanes here, we're seeing Light really take, take advantage of their speed, their teamwork, and, being able to put a lot of pressure here on towards A and B. But we'll see if Prometheus can stay on the tip of their toes, because they got to be ready for anything in this situation, as we may get a chance to see our first defensive round come through.
Well, this is the same setup for Light. They do a 3-2 split where you kind of heard and you saw the Gravity Vortex gun be pulled out, and actually a second is now called as Brick still has it in hand, and she's not going to be able to do too much with that. And I think as soon as Light read that...
Yeah, there's no timeouts, kids.
They stop all their play towards A, and they use the 2 members that are playing backside jungle to play over towards B. It kind of... It just drains out the specialist completely, and now you can kind of hit a bit of a focused attack without having to worry about the specialist really at all. Just comes down to, can you actually successfully break, because if Sparrow for Patron's out, that's going to be good for a double to essentially shut down this play before it even starts.
Full attack coming in from Alpha, and you don't get to see any kind of presence in B, which is something that you don't really get to see Light do, because a while ago it just performed so well. So that's a really good adjustment coming in from Prometheus, and really big kills coming in from them, because you can see here they have the advantage, but as closely as that, Light can actually just bring it down, especially when they bring out the specialists. Look at that. Faints has the Sparrow, so if he times it right, he can definitely just switch out. There you go. Big 2 kills from him.
I gotta point it out. If Light wants to win this, Marky needs to go sit in the corner. Okay. Seriously, you get 32 kills.
I hate the bows. I know some people love them, but I don't like them.
Entering all of these zones, so he's doing the dirty work by being the first one in. That's a hard role to play, and he's definitely getting it done when it comes to trying to capture a lot of these objectives, including now adding an extra minute as they finish off the A zone. 12 plays 10.
Yeah, see, I don't like the crossbow. I don't know. I never did. Either the crossbow or the regular bow. I don't like. I don't know. It's just too long. It's only 1 shot, and I mean, it's so quick to load.
Well, it's working out for him. Okay, as you said, he is the entry. The first guy into the fight is one of the hardest roles in which you can play, but his teammates are following through. The kills are coming in there. They have the lead, but just by 1, and now it's a tie game, mommy.
Oh, Mara while go with the SK.
Yeah, it's tied.
Definitely didn't really have
I think the next kill, I think.
He has the longer sniper rifle to begin with, so probably should have went there. But then there you go, very big kill. Gracie gets 2, and then Zed gets it's going to be very difficult, as when we saw Light had the advantage, just like that, Prometheus has already a 2-man life advantage. As you can see here, they need to get Bravo. With 24 seconds left on the clock, it's going to be very difficult to have such a heavy defense, but a really good defense and offense, though. With Beer getting on Gracie, they need to go and push right now.
How is nobody cleared Bricks out? Bricks has been there for the last 90 seconds.
That was awesome.
Unbelievable. And all of a sudden, Light now finds
That was a great finish to a round.
in the series. This is one of the favorites to possibly finish top 3, and they're 1 map away from being down in the 0-1 category, facing elimination.
Oh, that's not what you want to be.
2nd and 7th seed. Prometheus is the 7th seed here.
Prometheus, we had this conversation earlier about who wants to play today, who wants to come in and show up on the big stage with the money on the line, with your qualification for stage 5 on the line, representing your region. You can't go make excuses. You taking these losses. You gotta say, hey, you know what? Well, we didn't practice. We wasn't good enough. But we see Prometheus saying, hey, we're not gonna have any excuses here on the table. We're gonna give it everything we got.
The thing is, they beat him in Mobile Mayhem, so you have to know that this is a
every round is different. Doesn't matter if they beat them before. Every round is different.
Bracket off 1-0. That would be unbelievable for Prometheus, a team that I think a lot of people were just going to automatically say, okay, not the same kind of competitive integrity as a lot of the other rosters that are here, but you cannot sleep on anybody in this bracket, Blaze. You cannot do it.
You can't whatsoever there. And as you guys see, the stats on our screen, your MVP over there with 10 assists there. Negative on a KD, but the KDA all positive, and the time is there too as well on the objective. So good job there for Prometheus, but the job is not over with just yet. They still got to move on over there towards the hard point and really just see if they can lock it in now and have that upset coming out round number one in which we did not expect, but still.
Yeah, it's an upset, but they still got a couple more rounds to play. It could always turn around.
Interesting one, because we saw a while ago in Control where that's where Axibai turned things around, and Animus just had a very hard time. So again, you need to control your spawn, because we already know that Summit, it's not the best of spawns, especially going into P3 where everyone can just spawn right beside each other. So that's going to be very difficult for Prometheus, especially since they did lose that up against Light a while ago. So they need to change things up, and this is the momentum.
Like I said, it's early. It's only the round one, so, and it's best of 5. So.
Bobby had brought this up near the beginning of their cast. The KSP is disgusting right now.
Yeah.
But we have seen, not just in this map for the highlights, but also in the Animus Axabite series, 3 AR setups were not uncommon. So you have to kind of wonder, is that hurting their ability to kind of control quick space, especially when you've got a map like Summit coming up?
Yeah.
I would hope that you would just have 4 KSPs, maybe 1 Peacekeeper, maybe 1 SKS, depending on what you prefer. But right now, as far as the compositional setup is concerned, Light came out with 3 ARs throughout the entirety of that control, and it may have ended up hindering.
I look on the Microsoft Surface books, by the way, that are sitting on the table. Now, I know because Microsoft bought, Activision, and now they're the official, they're trying to close the deal. But nobody plays Call, well, you could play Call of Duty Mobile on it, but with an emulator, but yeah.
Be able to think ahead of the game, okay? Utilize your teamwork, get those ARs set up, and be able to play some strong defense if you want that to really come through for you. But as we saw, the subs were too much for those ARs.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the KSP obviously is going to be the pre-nerf version, so you're going to be seeing a lot of that. Peacekeeper is definitely cracked, because as we saw a while ago in the S&Ds as well, it can wallbang. But with a map like Summit, where you don't really have much space to actually go and wallbang it, maybe we can finally see it if you use it very right. But, I feel like Summit here, I think, just like a little bit tiny feeling. I feel like Prometheus has a little bit of an edge, especially seeing that control, because they can definitely win those close range range.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can. They sure can at the end of the day. And so we'll see how it's going to turn out there towards map number 4, as we're about to hop into it soon. It is going to be Summit on Hardpoint. And if we go the distance, stand off, search, and destroy, maybe we get a little Game 5 OT in this series. Wouldn't you love that one, Schiff?
I love overtime and everything always. So yeah, I would love that. Also,
Yeah, nobody's gone to overtime yet, but it can happen. It does happen. Actually, I've seen it.
It looks tight at the moment. Kind of hard for me to see because I'm old and my vision isn't as good as it is. It's not tight?
104 and 34.
Oh, I thought that was a 1 next. Never mind. We're down by 70.
Yeah, and so when
not as close as I thought it was.
Yeah, map number 1 was 250 to 218 in favor of Zidium. The search and destroy actually went in favor of Limitless 7 to 5, and Zidium took it 3-2 in the control. And now we'll see if they can end it here, or I think you guys said that Limitless was up here on top.
Dude, Saze, Karma, and Affer, when they were playing that standoff hardpoint, looked unreal. They all dropped 30-plus kills, so I'm really excited to see what that trio may be able to do. On the other side, Boot and Honor have been great for their squad. So I think that as far as the people that are out there that are fans of those two teams, maybe just fans of those individual players, you have a lot to look forward to depending on the results of that matchup as we get ready to go here towards Summit for map number 4 for us. It has to be 4 SMGs. It just has to be.
Yeah, if you're gonna be sparing SKS, I feel like that should be saved for Control. But obviously, we are going into a respawn game mode, which is gonna be Hardpoint, where we already saw it a while ago. Light just absolutely brought it to Prometheus, but it was close games. It's 250 and 221, so anything can happen here, especially if we get to see spawn Control at its finest.
All right, here we go into map number 4, as the kill is already coming through here for Prometheus, as they're going to have some early control here on top of
yeah.
one, but quickly contested, and we'll see a few more Light members quickly shut down as they're going to start spawning here towards the outskirts.
Good. I'm a fan of this. If you're Prometheus, you have some real control. You've got some finesse going on inside the hard point. Gore's able to open up with a double to kind of reset, but I still think the Prometheus positions will allow them to continue not just to contest, but if they can hold on to that second floor rail side, they're going to have a really good look to in lockdown and said where exactly Light are spawning up at.
Zed with a really beautiful kill. And again, it's the battle for 2F that when it comes to control. And right now, you already have Light having a hold of that, but obviously they're just finding it. So far, so good for both these teams as they're contesting. Yeah, that's really sick.
Dude, Gore is popping off. I'm saying, like, this entire region may be determined by which team has the best fifth man, so to speak.
And, you know, seeing him on these big stages right here, Gore, you know, he says, you know what, hey, I can play up under these lights, okay? I can play with the entire community and the fans watching me. And so, you know, now being able to, you know, get him in this type of situation, you see him really amplifying his team, holding his own, and just taking some pressure off his squad, still lighting up that kill feed. Gore, 10 kills to his name. Next person behind him on his squad is 4, and that's the 11th one coming on the board as well.
Yeah, I love that call, the Predator missile as well, just due to the fact that a lot of his teammates were completely outslayed trying to recontest through the second hard point. So you essentially create that buffer once again. You can follow up off the spawn immediately. You can hit little flanks like this. And with 20 seconds remaining, there's going to be a scrappy battle, not just over this hard point, but keep your eye on the left side of the minimap. You want to get those backsided spawns as much as humanly possible. So it's all down to, can you read this route from Zed? Number 2 in yellow, trying to make an early play for Prometheus.
That's going to be really hard, though. As you can see here, 4 players already trying to go and green, but then Zed really big kill, but unfortunately gets taken out by Hez. Hez so far in this matchup has been so good for Light.
Yeah.
He had so many kills here,
Whoop.
Me2 and Catwalk, and not only that, made the trip over here, just basically
Setting up the traps. Oh, it doesn't matter. He got him anyway. But those, if somebody walks through those, they'll still get the points, though.
I hate seeing sparrows on break attempts at hard points. It's just, you're just throwing in these little wet noodles, hoping they explode in the right corners, and I just don't love those.
That's an interesting weapon.
That's a sparrow that gets completely shut down. Mari in the back with a kilo in hand, trying to just zone off this back Sealer, but that's not going to really work out. So 40 seconds to fight for it, but the numbers are going to favor Light as they try to re-rate.
Sparrow definitely better on the defense. I mean, if you're already
Match still has another 9 minutes.
You know, you're going to expect there's going to be sparrows there, also trying to greet you, and also a trophy system trying to go in there for the break. And now Marky setting up, and now it's still pretty close though. 56 and 45, still doable for Prometheus to go and try and overtake. For them, these players 1 and 2, that's going to be Patron and Zed, trying to get big kills, but unfortunately for them doesn't really quite get it. Now they have to go in there for the rotate, but no one's even there for the contest.
Yeah, Bricksta's really helping out here, by the way. A couple of sprees in a row, earning the first 2 streaks, and also trying to lock down rotation. So again, Prometheus is kind of taking their losses on the chin and setting themselves up to kind of correct
Predator missile.
the best responses possible.
I almost never have luck with that. I either usually miss or if you, those of you who actually stream, you notice I almost never use the Predator missile because I almost never have luck with that.
Bricksta is just an absolute monster in this game. I mean, not only the search and destroys with the sniper, but also here with the KSP and the respawns. She's been in this hill for such a long time, and so far the defense is just so strong. You can see they're going to be spread out. Not only that, spawn control as well is going to be good for them. But then finally the break comes through the pinch. Take a look at that. 2, 3 players going in there.
Split spawn situation right now for Prometheus. You have to use this as a chance to naturally pinch this hard point and win it back quickly. So far, so good. Marky is able to get the double, but it's shut down, and that's going to turn into an opportunity for Bricksta to once again.
Yeah, they're gonna hold. I think they're gonna hold it.
So I'm telling you, man.
Again, I love the Snoop Dogg on the left and the parrot on the right.
And at the moment, Prometheus has turned a 60-point deficit into what's going to be a lead swap here, pending they hold, which they look good for. This is
Yeah, they're gonna hold it. I think.
They've had a lot of composure when it comes down to their specialists as well. They got some sparrows to use, and you know, right here, Prometheus, I'm loving the comeback from them so far. In this P4, they've done a good job locking down the
got him.
right-hand side
Double
of the
kill.
map. For a second, I thought Finks was going to be able to open up the door here for Light and create some opportunity for them to get back in the hill, but instead we'll be going into our second rotation where we saw a lot of early success here for Prometheus, but now it's going to be Light inside the hill and Bricksta with a big double there on the rocket. Still, Prometheus in the hill.
Yeah.
I was surprised Bricksta pulled out the gravity vortex in the first place. Coming from the backside of the snow doorway, it looked like it was just going to be used blindly, and it may connect with 1 or 2, but to double up and take down a couple and earn her 3rd Predator missile. Bricksta's in absolute takeover mode, and the only reason right now in my mind that Prometheus is giving Light this much of a headache.
I mean, that's the reason why we said a while ago that it's people like Bricksta that will definitely spearhead her team into victories, and that's where we get to see it. And if you have a team like that, if you have a teammate like that, just to know how to use your score streaks and also your operator skills, she can definitely use that to win this matchup. 109 and 115. And yes, we get to see a break from Light, but the rotation already coming through from the side of Prometheus here in Catwalk.
Yeah, this is, again, I think, taking the initiative. This is not a team that's playing reactionary COD Mobile right now. They are taking the forward step first, and I love that. They're not stepping back and saying, we'll just play Light's game. Nah, screw that. We're going to set up our own tempo, make them respond to us, and over the last 3 hard points, it's been ultimately successful for them.
And I think the best COD Mobile teams, and even the best teams in esports in general, are the squads that know how to set the tempo.
Agreed.
Force you to have to take it from them. Force you to have to outthink them. And, you know, we're currently seeing here, you know, Light, as they're speeding up here a bit.
He's setting traps again.
As they're going to be in P2. You got the entire team of Prometheus spawning here towards the top side of the map. They're flooding the hills. They're getting the kills, but so many players weak. The missile's not going to be able to connect. Brista comes out, finds 2 more, finally taken down.
Veer needs to put this SKS away. 9 kills, has not been a part of any of these hardpoint plays. Get it out of his hands. Put a Peacekeeper, a Kilo, or just get another KSP out. This SKS is doing nothing for the side of Light, and the worries that I had about what they were trying to run composition on Fire Range are starting to really show up. I mean, you're telling me you want to take a fight with a Deagle against a KSP. What are you doing?
This is what we were talking about. You don't use the SKS here, or at least in that manner where you go close range, especially up against Bricks that has been absolutely killing it. Exactly.
The thing to note, Light
See, when you set the traps like that, it's because you're hoping that everybody's running and moving so quick, and everybody's trying to get the point. You hope somebody accidentally steps on those, but that's really hard to do. At this level, a lot of these people are so good and professional. That stuff's hard to really make work.
An absolute shutdown from Prometheus. Little bait and switch action on the Light. Doesn't find a single elimination. So now you're kind of forced to have to reset, try again. As Prometheus are looking good for not just the majority of time here. They could turn it into 45+ seconds, no problem, pending they find the final kill. And Light is already on rotation. They're not going to send anybody to finesse the scrap time. They're playing scared.
I mean, they're just banking on the fact that... I mean, it's like, okay, they tried to go into the break knowing very well that Zed was absolutely winning all of his gunfights. So, I mean, I feel like this is a risk that they are...
Yeah, again, at this level, it's going to be hard to get people to step in traps like that.
And you got to win a rotation. If you are going to rotate early, the hill will finally officially switch. 22 points down. Can Light make it up? As you'll see, Gracie take down Marky. Few more kills coming here towards the back outskirts of the map. Now, Light looking to flood into this hill. They got to get in there quick because Prometheus already really flipping these spawns. Light does not have that positioning that they rotated early for.
Yeah, that was an absolute fumble from Light. They have 4 specialists ready to go to win this rotation. They don't read the long OE that's hit by Prometheus, and now all of a sudden you're trying to force Sparrows to break a very difficult hardpoint. This is Prometheus' game to win. We may have our first major upset in Europe right here on our screens.
It's possible.
50 points needed for victory and to move on in our Swiss bracket and send Light towards the lower side. You got Brixta finally going down. Mar will find 2 with the Hunter drone, and now will find Mari. Currently is Light picking up the rest of the scrap time, and Prometheus set up in middle mountain.
Oh, Patron loses a very big gunfight. Now the control in 2F is already into the favor of Light. Now this is where they can try to pick up the points, but then Zed having really big kills. Oh my goodness, with a double kill. And you know what? They can end it here in this hardpoint for sure. I mean, they're already set up, and they're funneling. Light is funneling into one little spot where you can see 1 and 3, Patron and Brixta. You already know these people, they're really good when it comes to close range.
It happened.
The light is dimming.
It's gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again. I mean, you've got Brixta once more with the Vortex gun out, ready to go. You can use this in a multitude of different ways. Patron's also assisting with the Sparrow.
Oh!
There's nothing you can do against it. 170.
That was awesome.
This is a heads-up play. It's gonna be a Goliath earned if you even need it. Just put him to bed.
It seems like the sun is setting here on Lights' chances to move forward towards the top
That was awesome.
of this Swiss bracket. As Prometheus
Again, I'm not good with the bow, but there are other people that are.
points needed for victory.
That was awesome.
Early in this hill will be Light, but Prometheus here on the rotation towards next. They'll find themselves 2 kills, but quickly trade it out. Now on board with Patronix, as he'll be rotating towards the middle, trying to get the flank, has the shots on feints. Can he get the kill? He cannot.
It's fine. They still have the zone here. They still have the ability to win this over just from watching over the backside of this walkway and catwalk. And there's just no showing up. Marky hasn't been able to find success on entry. Veer's been a non-factor all game long. And on the other side, you've got Patron, who's about to drop 50. Just gets stolen away at the last second. And Brixta for nearly 45. Prometheus is here to play.
Here to play. Prometheus not playing around. Say, do not underestimate us. Yes, we came in as a 7 seed, but seeding don't matter. It's the Swiss bracket. We're looking to take first here before you going into tomorrow.
My goodness, what a matchup that we had over here in Summit. And I feel like this was a great map choice. And I feel like for Prometheus, they just shut everyone up. They are supposed to be the 7th seed versus the 2nd, and Light actually beat Nova into stage 3 for winner's bracket. And I feel like, I mean, yes, that was 2 months ago. That's definitely a lot of time for you to go and, you know, switch it up a bit, and switch it up. Prometheus did.
No, but still, like Light, they come off a great series like that against one of the best teams out there. Even though you lose, series like that make you better. You don't get worse after series like that.
Well, yeah, that was
Especially
awesome.
when you were in that type of finals moment. So 2 months, we want to see.
I mean, you're talking about, I mean, again,
form to kick off stage 4.
to be at this level, these guys have got to be.
18 for Brixta.
Hold on, let me check my glasses. Oh
He's
my
on that
God.
monster. Are you kidding me?
44 and 18.
How many Predator missiles did she have? Like, what, 4?
One too many.
3?
Okay.
It's in 40 seconds.
A few too many if you a Light fan. But man, Brixta, she did absolutely fantastic here. You know, we have so many amazing competitive women here in the Call of Duty Mobile League, Mommy. Between Brixta, Lydia, yourself.
There's a bunch of great female players in this. A lot of them are in Europe and, you know, China, you know, Japan, China, places like that. They're some of the women over there are just unbelievable players.
This is what we really get to see. I mean, this is what we've been saying. This is the narrative for the whole thing. Who's the most important 5th man or 5th woman?
Sure.
Or is it going to be a team that has been not as seen here in the Call of Duty mobile scene, where Brixta and Mar were the big names here in Prometheus? But I guess it doesn't really matter because they performed and proved everyone wrong today.
Yes, they did. They truly did prove them all wrong here. And so, you know, pretty much as we go through these highlights, it's going to be pretty much a Brixta montage. And you're going to see a lot of control here towards mid-map for Prometheus as well. You're going to see.
I love the name, by the way, Prometheus. You could tell somebody's a massive Aliens fan that started that clan.
Light could have did better in this map to possibly force that game 5.
I mean, the only thing I could say about this for Light is a very common COD phrase. They lost full. Complete full. An absolute breakdown on rotation. I mean, you miss out on both the 3rd rotation and the 4th on that last set of hills. Largely because you just neglect to watch the OE. It's 5v5 on a map that was designed for 4v4. There is zero reason that anyone should ever get around the back. It just is a breakdown of communication, a breakdown in who's watching what, and there's obviously a lack of trust going on when their backs are up against the wall, because there were 3 straight hard points where Prometheus just took the game and ran with it.
Yeah, and you know, the last P4 that we went to, you know, you see Light rotate early, get control of the hill, and you guys were like, hey, they're scared to fight. I was thinking over here, I was like, well, hey, rotate early, you got some score trees, go in there, set up. But even with the 18-second lead that we saw Prometheus have in that situation, and a little bit of time for heals and transition, it was enough for Prometheus to get to the back lines, break them out, force that respawn on the opposite side, and really put them in a difficult spot there in the late game.
Like what you mentioned already, P3 did not touch it out after the 3rd reset. I mean, you had, what, 18 seconds there? And taking a look at that, that's our scoreboard right now, Blaze.
We are officially done with the first.
I like Nova is esports at the top.
And I guess, you know, 2 of the
That's a big
surprises,
group.
Maybe, you know, Light losing and Limitless as well, probably in their series. You know, we got Zidium and Prometheus 1-0 at the top. Animus and Nova up there as well.
I feel like Prometheus is going to be in,
That was a
and I think Nova's going to be is definitely going to win. I think Nova's going to win, to be honest with you.
31. So that game got really tight at the end. Zidium able to edge it out 3-1 in that series. And if I'm not mistaken, and I don't mean to put the cart before the horse here, I'm pretty sure Light and Cold play next for an elimination matchup based on how that seeding would work, which that is a spicy meatball.
Spicy meatball.
Say that much.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like what you mentioned already, we don't expect City of Prometheus to be up 1-0.
No,
so that's
no,
why
not at all.
we've already mentioned it in the start of the broadcast that the EU region is definitely going to be the most competitive, and there will definitely be upsets. But I feel like the real battle is going to start at this point already here, Blaze.
It is, you know, because round 1 jitters out the way. And, you know, some teams, you know, it went as expected. Others, it did not. So we're going to have some high shots here towards the winner's side and some epic losers matchups, you know, and we'll see how they kind of really trickle down. But coming up next, we got people going home, okay? So, well, at least turning off their phones and switching them to whatever their second one is. But as Shift kind of alluded to before, in that elimination matchup, coming up next, it's going to be Light versus Cold Esports, and that's going to be fantastic. All right, Mommy, we got his thoughts on it.
Hey, Ashlyn236, thanks for joining the stream over on Twitch. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in the chat.
You know, they're kind of been an underdog. You know,
Thank you for watching.
We know how, with them making it into this tournament. Yeah, you know, they had a interesting run, but they got here, and now it's just about making it to the stage, right? Making it to the qualifiers, making it to the playoffs, and then from there, you just got to dig deep and see what you got left in the tank to make it to stage 5, and we'll find out here soon with our remaining 4 squads, and we'll get a chance to see our bracket later and maybe check out some of our other matchups too, because, you know, I want to see what it's looking like on the winner's side.
Yeah, it's going to be really curious because at the moment, you know, we were going into today thinking for all of these top-seeded teams, the 5th player was going to be the difference maker. Could they possibly take their team over the edge? But for a team like Light, who now are facing up against elimination, General Gore played fine that entire series based on what I could tell.
Yeah.
It's the big all-star and kind of the IGL you would assume in Veer that did not show up. So you have to make sure that all of your star players are actually star players because we need to see Veer bounce back in that next series if Light want to have a chance to avoid elimination.
All right, you heard it there from our analysts. We'll see if they can bounce back, but we are moving forward with the tournament as we have Light versus Cold Esports coming up next. In round number 1, we saw Nova, Zidium, Prometheus, and Animus come out on top. But as we head into our next round, we'll see who's going home. We'll see right after this.
Hey, Katie over on Instagram saying hello. Thank you. Hello, how are you? She's a friend of mine from high school. Thank you for dropping in the stream. I appreciate it. All right, so we got about 10 minutes or so till the next round. So let's have some fun. I'm going to mute this. And let that be in the background. Whoops. And let that run for a little bit. Yeah, we got like 10 minutes to the next round, so it says 6 minutes, but it's more like 10. So we'll have a little fun, kids. Let that play in the background for a while. Dude, sit down. Be good. Come on. Obi the Wonder Dog is being, how can I say, overly clingy today. Usually this time of the morning he sleeps and lays down, but he's been overly clingy today. Why? I don't know. If I knew, I would tell you. Oops, no, I don't have time for that. Let me just grab these real quick. I'm not gonna equip it right now, but I don't know. I don't really like the rocket launcher too much. What do I got here? Nope. Markall's red. We'll do a quick multiplayer. We'll do a 10 on 10. Just a quick weekend one. While we're waiting for it to come back. Got a bunch of people on the Twitch stream. Thanks a lot, guys, for jumping in and watching. I appreciate you guys just watching. Thank you. Got a few people over on the Facebook. Thank you. A couple people watching on the Instagrams. I tell you, we got a lot of people watching today. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Like I said, we're going to play a quick round or two while we're waiting for tournament to come back up.
Capture the objectives. Enemy taking capturing C. Enemy has captured C.
Go to settings. I got to turn the shoot mode off to regular mode. There we go.
Enemy taking Bravo. Enemy has Bravo.
Oh.
We lost the lead.
Let's go. Need backup. Watch out! Grenade! Reloading. Cover me.
Crap. I'm using the scope, the long range scope. I don't want to use that, but too late now.
Capture B. Using Charlie. Capture Bravo.
There we go. Whoa. Somebody's behind me shooting me.
Lost C.
Too bad you couldn't blow up the tanks, but you can't.
Stealth tower ready.
There we go. We'll just keep. Oh, he got me from behind. Sam. What are you doing?
Capture Charlie. Losing Bravo.
Ah!
We lost Bravo. Capturing Bravo.
I'm up.
Capture B. UAV online. Swarm activated. UAV online. Pick it up, team. UAV online. Swarm ready. Losing this fight. Swarm activated. Losing C. Total awaiting orders. Friendly stealth chopper inbound. Lost Charlie. Capturing C.
Oops, still hey, wait. Nope, you're friendly.
Lost B. Capturing Alpha. It's empty. Enemy UAV spotted.
Hey, get out of here.
Capturing Bravo.
Oh boy. Too many people.
Swarm stealth chopper on standby. Lost that round.
Wow, we lost. I thought, man, we got our butts handed to us on that one. Alright, let's keep going. Changing sides.
Capture the objectives. We're capturing enemy taking C.
Let the dog
Enemy
run
has
ahead.
captured Alpha. We lost the lead.
No, well, they're capturing. I'm gonna go this way.
Enemy taking B.
Yeah, this never really works too hot here. It's working pretty good for a change.
Capture Bravo. Capturing C.
Man, oh man, I'm racking up the kills with this thing, but well, I might as well do it again. I guess I got a couple of them stored up. I don't know, but either way, I'm rocking it.
We've taken the lead. Heads up. Enemy UAV spotted.
Here, we'll send.
Stealth chopper inbound.
Let's go. Let's go.
UAV spotted. Losing B.
Target down. Need backup.
Capturing C. Losing B. We're almost there. Keep it up. We're capturing C. Stealth chopper awaiting orders.
I guess I must have a bunch of them like saved up or something. I don't know.
UAV online. Alpha activated. Losing Charlie. Hunter killer has been destroyed. Lost C. Friendly stealth chopper inbound.
Like I said, I must have a bunch of them saved up or something. Do we get that? Ooh, we got it. Yay! How's our tournament doing? Alright, it's coming back in a minute.
Mission accomplished. Good work.
That's a big gun. Looks like I take the place of them. Okay. Alright, so let's get back to playing yet. Well, tomorrow, like I said, tomorrow is also going on too. It's not just today, so. We can do one more Guns Blazing, I think. Then we'll come back right in the middle of the action.
We captured Alpha. Enemy has C. Enemy taking B.
This is that new gun we just got, so.
Enemy has Bravo.
Oh, somebody got me. Oh, sniper.
C. Lost the lead. Heads up, team. Captured spotted.
Okay.
Hostile sentry gun in your AO. Losing Alpha.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't know if this is a good gun for this round.
We lost A. Tied for the
Well,
lead.
yeah, because I'm not killing anybody.
Enemy UAV spotted. Lost the lead. Enemy airstrike incoming.
Oh. They're sniping all the time.
Heads up, team. Enemy UAV spotted.
Yeah, this really isn't a great weapon.
Gun spotted. Hostile sentry gun in your AO.
Ah, I got it again.
Heads up.
This is a crappy gun, man.
Be advised. Hostile
Is that
sentry
one up
gun
there,
spotted.
too? Yeah, it's done with this round. That gun is crap. See what else
You
we
got
got.
a round on Nova there in that control as well. But they fought. They fought hard. They didn't come out. They didn't get rolled over. They didn't get 100-point club. They didn't get
100-point club.
S&D. So I think we're gonna have a really even matchup as we head here into our first elimination matchup, and we'll get a chance to see those map picks and bans here is coming up soon in this series. But so far, so good throughout this day. We have had just some great action to kick this one off. And towards the end of the day, and at the end of the day, we'll have our winners playing in our last two matches. Those will be our undefeated teams. Now, let's take a look at some of our stats from the previous series when it came down to Cold versus Nova. So as you're looking at this one, Respawn KD, a 1.09 to the 0.92, close there. Allie, what are you getting from these numbers?
Well, like I said, so Cold Esports, again, they have that Respawn KD of a 0.92, but that's literally just because their control is at a 0.77 and it's heavily bringing it down overall. Actually, my eyes are currently on a player on the side of Cold Esports. Worst Sniper has a 10th KD overall. Again, it's only been the first set of matches of the day, but for them to lose 0-3 and for him to still have a 1.16 in Respawn, you are very worried if you're like Esports. We're talking about a matchup. This was the number 1 seed versus the number 8 seed, and he's still able to come out not only positive, but Cold Esports, like y'all said, it was a 3-0, but it was a very close matchup overall.
Yeah.
They're now going to be going up against, yes, the number 2 seed, but the number 2 seed lost to the number 8 seed, and they found themselves in this position. So a lot of momentum here, I feel like, is going to be in the favor of the Cold Esports.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the big differential there that we see in those kills in that matchup probably came within those last 2 rounds on control. And that's just more so Nova knowing how to switch gears, okay? Shift into that back end of the series and close it out and turn it up just a notch where it seemed like Cold just got cold there, you know, as things got close and they couldn't close it out there, Bobby.
Yeah, this is a very experienced team, and I think one player that a lot of people in EU are cheering for is Jim on Cold Esports. He's a player that made it to Stage 4 finals his first year playing in 2020. Team probably should have been able to win, and they weren't able to close it out despite a bracket reset. So he's a player that a lot of people are going to be keeping an eye on. More than likely going to be the leader of this team, and especially in the search and destroy, keep an eye out for his snipes.
Keep an eye out for the snipes, and this is your roster for Cold Esports: Jim, Rondo, Vat, Sav, and Worst Sniper. But he's gonna have to be the best today. And, you know, Bobby, another question I want to kick off to you, because Schiff was talking to us earlier about the fifth mans and some of these newer rosters coming in and their performances and how they're going to make their teams better. Is there any new members for some of these teams out here, maybe coming up in this series or some of the other squads that you're looking forward to perform here in Stage 4 and make a name for themselves?
Yeah, I would say Worst Sniper. I don't really know a whole lot about him. I don't think he has too much competitive experience, at least as far as majors go. So the pickup of Rondo is not too surprising, especially given how well Illuminati played in Stage 4. I definitely think that he's going to be able to fit in well with the team. I think the big question is going to be whether or not Worst Sniper is able to bring their level up as far as that fifth man goes.
Yeah, we'll see if they can, you know. So we'll see if they can bring up their level to everybody else. Now, let's take a look at our maps here for this cycle and see where we're going to be going. What is the battlefield going to look like? Map number 1, Firing Range. We're going to be heading to Raid and Search and Destroy, Standoff Control, Summit Hard Point, and then take off, search, and destroy if we go the distance. Allie, looking at this cycle right here, which one of these maps are you excited to see?
Like I said, it's going to be all about the respawns for me when it comes to the specific matchup. They have a very, very similar respawn KD at 0.91 for Light, 0.92 for Cold Esports. Like I said, they are flip-flopped on the sides of which one they favor. One team's heavily favored at Control, one's heavily favored in the hard point. But I will say, with Worst Sniper having that 10th KD at 1.16 on respawn, I'm interested to see him in Search and Destroy because his name is Worst Sniper. So I'm really curious if there's actually like a huge drop-off when we load in the Search and Destroy. Just be like, oh, this guy's frying. Now we're Search and Destroy, and he's like, he's not on the map. So a little bit of a fun, interesting tactic.
I think it's a 200 IQ move on your gamer tag, right? Take the pressure off yourself. Say, I'm the worst. Don't expect anything from me. And then every single play you make, it just looks better than what people are expecting. And so I know you guys at home are expecting this matchup to start, so it's time to give it to you. As I introduce to you your casters, it's going to be Shift and Mommy to take this one away. Guys, let us know how you're feeling about this series.
I think this is an interesting one. I think first and foremost, you looked at that map series layout. Number 4, number 5 in this map pool is the exact same hardpoint and Search that Light just lost on in their last one. I'm a little nervous for Light coming off an unexpected loss, now having to beat this Cold Esports team to try to stave off elimination, Mommy.
I mean, like what Ali said a while ago, it's all down to the respawns. And game number 4, Summit, you already know that, especially with Veer underperforming, there needs to be some sort of switch up because obviously these two teams, they're pretty evenly matched today. I mean, yes, maybe you saw into Group 3, stage 3 rather, that they're not really evenly matched. Here today, this is the reason why they're here in the, in the lower bracket.
I mean, it's nearly 2 months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So much changes in that time. And I think the bigger thing, and Bobby, you talked about this with us behind the scenes as well as kind of to you guys at home, there were a number of things that had happened after Stage 3 to some of these rosters to kind of make some moves happen, picking up some players from Illuminati, having to fill in a 5th sub because someone wasn't able to play or something of the nature. So I think for this side of Cold Gaming, there's really nothing to lose here, so to speak. I mean, in a way there is, because you have a lot of really solid players from last year that had a lot of success, not just in their own region, but also internationally. But I think when you look at this from Light's perspective, like, you were the team that came out and said you are top 3 EU seed, but you have to prove it.
I mean, I like what I'm seeing here because I feel like for Cold Esports, especially for hardpoint number 1, firing range, I was kind of expecting for them to choose Raid because they played that a while ago, and obviously for Light, they won that against Prometheus. But for Cold Esports, that was the closest matchup that we've seen for hardpoint here so far up against Nova. And so I'm really liking here firing range, and Raid is going to be in Search and Destroy. So again, going back here in firing range, I don't know what's going to happen here because we have no info so far between these two teams.
3 ARs. I need to see that not be the case. Like, I get it. Wallbang's a thing. You can piece people up through wood, backside over, through trailer even, but I just don't love what we saw from Light with that 3 AR setup that they pulled, not just in Summit, but I know for a fact they also played that in their opening map on Raid. And I just, Veer he was such a playmaker last year. And to see him sit in the back, try to anchor with an SKS, it hurts my heart. It hurts my soul deep down. I need to see him get more active. I think that's the biggest thing here, because this Cold Esports team is going to be feeling really saucy, even though they lost 0-3.
Apparently, he needs attention today.
So you know that they think that this is a winnable game.
Definitely. I mean, we already saw Light perform here, firing range in Control against Prometheus, and obviously they did lose that, but it is going to be a very close one because it was a 3-2 in favor of Prometheus. So, again, I feel like that is a little bit of a good thing coming in from Light, but Cold Esports looking like they're really good here so far, especially, yes, they come out of 0-3, but like the stats a while ago from Bobby and Ali, it looks like it's favoring them so far.
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to say for sure because we didn't really get a chance, even on side monitors, to really watch over what exactly was happening between Nova and Cold. It's just all assumption-based. So we only have a small sample size of what we saw out of Light, and we have really no sample size outside of map scores out of Cold. So we're kind of picking our poison blindly, so to speak. And I think the biggest thing is, and I said this on the desk, and I really mean it, if you're looking at this from the perspective of Light, you have to know you've got heavy hitters on your roster, but they have to show up. You can't just rely on scrappy moments to kind of put yourself together and scrape out wins. We need to see them snowball something here on firing range. I need to see them come out the gate, prove that they were a top 3 team from back in Stage 3, because at the moment, they look pretty absent from that in their last matchup.
This is what we like about day number 1 because we have no information whatsoever, and obviously after this day, that's when we really get to have a little bit more prediction going into day number 2. But obviously, we're starting off here in our Swiss round 2. I mean, just like that, it was just so fast.
This could be it. This could be the end of your season when it comes down to what your hopes were when it comes really excited about chomping at the bit for 40 total teams across the globe. Only 3 from Europe will make it. But the scramble really does come down to who can get to Sunday first and foremost before we can even really revisit the conversation of who our top 3 are, because everything has just been thrown out the window with these opening results.
And now we keep talking about hardpoint control
Sure.
and all of these respawns, but let's talk about the search and destroy for a second here, because both of these teams just absolutely struggled here. But I feel like it was Cold Esports that had a little bit more of an advantage going up against Nova, having that 7 and 5, and obviously they lost that in standoff. And now I feel like going into raid, I feel like that will definitely favor them more, especially with Jim on their side.
Yeah, I think that when we eventually get to the raid search and destroy, whoever wins that map is going to have the more successful offensive side, which is really easy to say because that's typically the way it goes. But I still have to hold on to the whole mantra of the team that wants to be proactive, flexes their playbook, forces their opponents to have to react, is going to have an upper hand, particularly on the attacking side of that raid search and destroy. Also, for what it's worth, standoff control, I didn't see any of it in India last weekend, and I don't know exactly how that's going to fare when it comes down to setups. Are we going to possibly see sniper rifles over the middle of the map? It is an option.
Yes.
Or are we going to see more AR-centric focus out of a team like Light again after we know that they like to rely on it?
I mean, this is the part where I think Veer might actually pull out the SKS, and this
It
is
could
the
find
right...
success.
Exactly.
I like
so,
that out of you.
Summit, obviously, that is not going to be the map for it, but standoff is definitely going to favor him. And from the past, while I've been watching the past tournaments going into stage 4, usually teams like to capture A first rather, in Grannies, and then eventually rotate into Bravo. But obviously, it turns into a TDM. It's one of those maps where it's really hard to capture both of those points.
Yeah, I mean, it was really actually kind of surprising when we were watching it and seeing Light be able to capture both zones at firing range, not just collectively, but simultaneously. They were capturing B and A at the same time. So I think you have to go off of maybe some mantra there when it comes to how did we make that call? What decision did we see where it was, let's go ahead and actually commit to this play? Because I think you're going to need a little bit of that to try to open up standoff. The last thing you want is to lose all high ground control and everyone's just watching you from a million different angles.
I mean, it's going to be really easy to spawn trap here in standoff.
Yeah.
You already know that by Blue House, and it's going to be really hard if you are on the offensive side. Because, I mean, like what we mentioned before, it's definitely going to be defensive heavy. So it's really up to them. Whoever's going to be on the defensive side is going to have the opportunity to take that 1 point.
Punish. You have to punish.
Exactly.
Okay. I like it. I like the call. We're getting close there, friends and family. I know. We're ready. We want to see some Swiss Round 2 action.
Enough talking.
I know. We're going to be doing a lot of talking here, obviously. That's what you're great for. All right? So deal with it, EU.
Oh, I like this board. This is one of my favorites.
Into Light versus Cold. This is an elimination match. Again, the whole Swiss format. Win 2 before you lose 2. Both these two squads 0-1. And a question mark starts to arise as far as can Light recover, because Veer is the one player that we kind of spotlighted for having a poor performance, but I'm still excited to see how good this General Gore guy is as their 5th man.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. He's been performing. He's been really standard here, and I feel like he's definitely going to be here to stay. But there you go. Speaking of the man himself, gets 1 big kill. A trailer control already in his hands, and now they need to go and contest this hill really quickly.
Nice little snapper out of General Gore. Still could not win trailer, though. So with that, small advantages here for Cold through the rip-off, just being able to use that middle ground position. Faints is kind of tossing in every utility he could possibly find to try to make sure he can get on towards the zone. Another star player that you look for Light to possibly be your X factor in a map like firing range, but the response out of Cold, flawless, straight kill feed, turning up orange or yellow depending on how colorblind you are, and it's going to be a 22-9 lead with still 20 seconds to fight for.
I mean, it's all yellow in the board right now, especially going to that first hard point. It really was that trailer control fight that they really needed to win, where Sniper won all of his gunfights, and hence that's why it's 31-9. But it's the rotation now, which is important for P2. Now, in American, you already have an early rotation coming in from Cold.
Marquis trying to find an entry, but there's no one else with him. This is something that we saw when we were watching over the summit. Marquis trying to get in, but where was his help? Once again, it wasn't there in any form. Hez just tries to run on into the zone, and this is so uncollected for Light. Set something up, please.
1 by 1, they funnel in, and that is not going to work out for you, Light, especially with 3 people in the hill. Not only that, the Slayer, number 5, Nev, going in there for the shots, but with a Peacekeeper, it's going to be very hard to go and contest. But finally, the pinch finally comes through here for Light, and finally works out for them.
I like that. Okay. Finally, we get a setup. Finally, we have a little bit of a multiple point of ingress attack. It gets the break. 35 seconds still to fight for. So naturally, Cold want to try to make a play to try to re-break. Not looking good off the initial play, but there is still a hit coming from the bottom side of the map. Light, do you respond to this? General Gore says absolutely. A little double up right through the entryway, and the scrap time should be good for Light.
That was a nice call coming from General Gore. Really big 2-piece. And now, if you're going to be coming off of the next rotation round, you have 15 seconds left, and obviously the rotation already there. You already see Cold Esports going in for the early rotate. We've seen it already before, but now we already know how capable Light is when it comes into the break.
And there was a little finesse play coming out of number 4 of Worst Sniper on the old time, so it really kind of stretches out Light's attempt to get over towards trailer. Next set of gunfights off the respawn. Good, though, for the team in blue. And now it just comes, can you actually clear out the point itself? Gore trying to get through the side door to pinch, but is shut down at range. And that'll be open in time, going the way of Cold Gaming.
That was unfortunate because Hez went down where before he could go in for the defense and attacking rather, and they weren't able to go and get the point. And now going in there, that is a good sign from Cold Esports so far. They went in there for the early rotation. Not only that, won the break coming in from Light Esports. That's a really good sign here so far. And not only that, they're taking like a really big chunk here, maybe a full 60 on their end.
And the interesting thing is you have Purifiers early. Love the call. Get one out. Worst Sniper's going to be able to lock down trailer largely just by himself. You're trying to work his way in, but once again, that is an individual play, leaving General Gore to have to follow up without much help. He gets shut down for the backside of the heady, and that will be an opportunity for Colt to once again send numbers to get the last 15 seconds. It's just
Well, because they need the hard. Like I said, you got to get the hard point. That's why they're playing hard point. So that's this is a hard point is intense.
Early rotation coming in from the side of Light. We haven't seen that yet here so far. It's been early every single time. And I'll take a look at that. Worst Sniper with 13 and Rondo and Vat having that 8, so that's not going to be really that big of a deal. But taking a look at that, we don't like to see this, but Veer with 5.
Oh.
Interesting call here. Predator Missile going to get called in as the break starts to find some legs to run with. Marky with the Purifier trying to lock
Nope,
things down.
didn't work.
And he eventually gets
He got one with the Purifier, but she got him. So.
thin out. The potential hold here for Cold Esports. Light on the break, trying to come from backside jungle. Good kills coming through from the ARs.
Nope.
Now it's just down to the actually, can you hold it? Because the spawns on Cold Esports are still closer towards red, but the kills pop up as Marky gets into the hard point. He'll find 3 in a row, and that'll be Light right back in the game.
Really good break coming in from Light, and yes, they funneled through, but then the full man push definitely was going to be great, and I'm glad they weren't able to use all of their operator skills here, because so far so good when it comes to the gunfights, but just as I said that, was counted really quickly. Vat with a really big 2 piece.
Yeah, that's pretty. This is intense.
Out of the site. And again, it's the battle of P1 where we already know that Cold Esports has really big deals here.
Hez just pulled out a Purifier with 10 seconds left on P2. He's in trailer. A bit puzzling to see what exactly he's going to try to do with this. I mean, it's going to likely expire without ever even using any of the fuel for it. Very bizarre call out of Light.
Maybe he was setting up for P1, trying to clear out trailer, but then the timing was just too off. It was too early for him to go and do that. If he did that right now, then probably that was going to be a good play. But again, it's going to be Cold Esports all over P1, which we saw a while ago. So history repeats itself, but it's a good thing for him. The General Gore, it's going to be up and 10. So, I mean, it's a back and forth here, but again, it's just Cold Esports always with the early rotation, a really good break.
Who is General Gore, and can I enlist into his services? Because he has been unbelievable for his squad. Absolutely unbelievable. 17 total kills on a bit of a streak up top. And he's kind of kept
You got to get to 250.
single-handedly. I mean, he's got the opportunity
So.
to regen and try to play for his cruise missile coming through. And you have to feel like that's got to be the call.
Yeah, this
It's
guy's in-
elimination, finds himself the Pred missile. Can you possibly get a Goliath? Because I'm not going to lie here, Gore. Everyone's looking at you to possibly save your squad at the moment.
Now rotation coming through, and now big gunfights ensuing. There you go. We got number 2 over here. That's going to be Hez winning a lot of these gunfights. So even though both of these teams went in for the rotation, unfortunately for them, just dropping like flies. And
Guys up to the guys up to 18 now. General Core.
where we get to see Cold Esports always going very early.
Gray over on the right is 20 some kills.
Kept his life.
Nope, now he's respawning. But
Pred missile comes through. He threats the
21 kills now. General. This guy's intense.
Hez looking to capitalize. Shut down at the doorway by Vat as Jim watches over the top. The gravity gun also spent out.
Oh, here comes the Purifier. Nope, didn't got him.
Burning to death, but he does keep his life for a little while longer, and help is arrived. Light just into the hard point for a solid break.
That was a beautiful Predator missile. Just took out 2, and yes, there was backup coming in from Cold Esports, but then you get to see it. The misplay coming in from Hez, that was Hezrat. Going in from Rondo, he lost that Purifier. That's going to be a really big deal. I mean, he could have flushed out those 2 players going in from the side of trailer. So again, really good control coming in from American from both of these teams, because right now it's being contested. So.
Oh, it's being contested.
I was going to say, Jim, your only job with this SKS is to watch the cross. He's going to have a little bit of a 1v1 with Veer inside for the scrap seconds of about 9 total to be tallied.
Yeah, so sometimes you can contest something in something like this. I've never contested anything, but you can contest it.
Both teams really thin as we open up the hill here in the next 5 seconds, but Vat is actually going to make the preemptive call to call it a Purifier here to make sure his team wins rotation. It works out beautifully, but the break attempt is on the way, and the kills are coming. Lighter in.
And lighter in, but they light are just out like that. I mean, even before the hill started here,
really solid defense here so far.
Just flame warfare going out inside a trailer at the moment.
Barbecue.
I love this.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is
Keep the Tempest out. Just make sure you lock down the middle of the map. Your teammates can focus on the back. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the synergy out of Cold Esports is looking frigid. As Icy is all get out, closer to 200 points if they can lock down the scrap time, which they're still gonna have to fight for. Light spawning out towards the top right-hand side of the minimap.
yeah, they're 195. They gotta get to for the other team. Very hard for the other team to catch up now. They're so far behind. They're almost 50 behind.
Scrap time coming in from Light, but then
Now they're starting to climb back up, but I doubt it.
Look at Rondo having that 26, and we're Sniper having that 31. Not only that, they have spawns in their favor. Predator Missile takes down 2, and it's gonna be hard for them to go and break because they're just spawning
Oh,
all
yeah.
over the place. No
Oh,
sort of
Predator missile. I got 2, I think, on that one.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable.
That's a 3?
Yep.
3 Predator Missiles in
Yep.
like 5 seconds.
Jim, I mean, you just watch how Jim is playing the map compared to how Veer's playing the map with his SKS. Jim is having
Veer's 22 at 26. Oof.
absolutely, and he's holding.
No, the guy on the right, Jim, is 27 of 18, so that's not bad.
The work up close and personal. He's not forcing anything, and now he's been able to earn a second Goliath for this side of Cold Esports. And I don't even know if General
Oh, they're gonna win. He's at 290. Now he's got the Goliath coming out. It's done. There's no way they're gonna catch up now. That thing to kill the Goliath takes a big effort, and they're not gonna do it with only at 238. Nope, Purifier, but I don't think it did enough. Didn't do enough.
Nothing that they can do because there's no break whatsoever coming in from Light.
No, they cannot threaten this whatsoever. Gore is going to see the game expire with what I like to call runners on base. He's got a Goliath in the back pocket. He can never call out. And simple fact of the matter is, someone has to help that guy.
Jim was an absolute beast here. I mean, his usage of the SKS, like what you mentioned, is something that Veer needs to go and take notes on.
Absolutely.
Because he just has the angles, right? Especially coming in from tower, knowing very well that the Tempest would be really good into that next hard point here. That is just absolutely great. Take a look at that scoreboard right now.
Oof, wow, that guy.
So yes, he was able to utilize that SKS well, but I guess not as
See, but the only thing is that guy Vera, like he's number 1, but he also had 30 deaths too. Like he also died 30 times too.
You saw Fates go double negative in the history of Fates ever playing COD Mobile.
See, the whole point is to get as many kills as you can get without being killed.
I mean, between him and really Hez and Marky trying, I mean, that's your
I mean, it always annoys me when you see guys, oh, he got 50 kills. Yeah, but he also has 50 deaths too. So I mean,
I think a lot of people
how good is he? You know?
harping on Veer. He's the MVP.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy on the right,
-7, that's fine.
that in my opinion, I mean, he's MVP because he had more kills than deaths, but still.
No. 28 and 18 with 15 assists out of Jim. The dude
Yeah.
was everywhere.
Not only that, take a look at the KDA. I mean, no one was positive going in for side of Light. Everyone else
Yeah.
here in Cold, they're good. They're doing really good. Not only that, with the assist and especially Vat with 2 minutes. We didn't even get to see Vat as much.
No.
But the objective already there, 2 minutes on the clock. That is really impressive for me to see. So everyone else in Cold Esports, really good. And now we are slowing things down just a bit later on in S&D. But let's take a look at what happened here in Hardpoint firing range, where I feel like for me the biggest thing is rotation.
I think that's a really easy thing to point at, just simply due to the fact that Light was never in control of any hard point really, and then on top of that is just their break attempts were so piecemeal. Everything was essentially 1-by-1 or at best a duo. And when you're trying to be in positions like this, where you're trying to break hard points with purifiers, it's just not going to work out for you because the instant call, once you start to see flames come through the door, if you're responding to it, is, I'm going to pull out mine as well. And this is the moment that we really highlighted what Jim was doing. The Tempest from the top side of
Yeah, look at that. And he can get 2 or 3 of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
double kill, triple kill. Sorry,
Forced Light to have to hit through one
that's
angle.
awesome.
That's never going to work out well for you on a map like Firing Range. And yeah, Jim's just going to shake his head at the end of it because what was that?
That was
Do we-
perfect hardpoint. I mean,
Pretty close, yeah.
everything was right for Cold Esports, and like a little bit shaky for Light. But I mean, I believe that Light can definitely slow things down. And yes, even though they won their hardpoint a while ago in Raid, this is a different kind of team that we
Agreed.
saw Nova struggle up against a while ago. And so Raid Search and Destroy is now in play, where we know that again, Cold Esports has a little bit more of an advantage because Jim seems like he is on fire right
Yeah.
now with the sniper.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big key.
Oh, this is one of my favorite boards too. If any of you guys that see me online play, I love this board. I play it a lot.
It would have to be.
Has to be.
And that's a little terrifying because if he's not able to keep a hot hand up or slow firing range hard point, you start to have a little bit of doubt creep in. And then on top of that, what is Veer going to be doing defensively? He's number 1 in blue. He's going to be playing over towards towards the
Well,
end.
he's number one.
With General Gore. That is an SKS sniper defense over towards B. It works out for first blood as nades start to rain to the backside of driveway, but we're
Here we go.
able to respond in kind. We go to a 4v4, and well, I think Cold Esports are not fully expecting that this is going to be a very long-distance crossfire setup over towards B, and they'll get punished.
I mean, I feel like the information, they should have probably rotated back into spawn, and now, but then speaking up, Jim, it's going to be a 2v4, no, 2v3 rather, and they can still definitely win this, especially with Jim trying to get and even things out. No, now it's going to be hard because Marky and Veer, so far, so good, especially Veer being angry after that hardpoint game, really wants to prove himself here in Search and Destroy.
Jim's getting frisky, checking on the laundry. Dry cycle's not done yet. Go back up towards top right. He's looking to. This is him choosing to take 1v1s. He has Veer over the
Oh, they got him.
shot in.
Yeah, this is really important because you're only remember you're only playing to 7, so
With the KSP.
that's what it says. Target 7. So
The rotation probably should have called it.
Yeah.
They already knew that there was going to be, what, 3 people? The rest of Light is going to be there. And now that, it's, at least he has the bomb. That's the most important
Yeah.
part. Now, the long rotation coming through, so at least you're expecting Light to at least bring one more person. But no, it looks like he definitely wants to bring the fight going into Bravo. With long retake, I'm not quite sure if I like that.
Oh,
play.
we got him.
Speaking of,
I think the thing about it is if you're VAT, you're sitting there saying, all right, I'm in a 3v1 situation. You know that 2 long-range weapons are playing towards the outside of B. Maybe I could catch someone rotating through mid to pinch me.
the
But
bombs
I
are
think that
planted.
play, that 2v3
I
did
think.
start with Jim saying, I want these 1v1.
Oh no, he's gonna pick it up.
the problem is rotating through mid is the fact that you already know that snipers are going to have their scope in through mid. And you have 2 already present into Light Esports. So, again, really big pick coming in from Worst Sniper, and Face goes down.
I love this opening setup out of the side of Cold Esports. The problem is, once again, over towards Pillars, the response defensively is there. Over the top of the bomb site, Marky shut down by Vat, who just forces the gunfight. And there's going to be another engagement around the corner. He may have actually heard Hez jumping off, and yes, seems to have been able to find the kill without any cause for concern. So now it's a 3v1 the other way, and General Gore is stuck inside a kitchen with just a scope to play with.
He needs to pick up another gun. It's absolutely essential for him because, yes, he can probably take one out, but he needs to find a way to take out Vat as well because that's going to be troublesome. Let's see if he can spot Rondo, but he's making a lot of noise. So that gives up a lot of audio cues here right now in poolside.
Ooh, got him.
I love that opening setup, though, from Cold Esports. You don't want to even bother with the long-range setup over towards B. Get a trophy down, get poolside stairs, work through the middle of the map just by playing a heady over towards Pillars, and then just if you find information on a player over towards A, just slide shell. Just get on top, force the 1v1.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
So far, another 5-man hit coming through down towards the bottom.
They're 1-1 right now, so if it's anybody's game yet.
It's Fates and Marky off your screen with a little bit of assistance from Hez inside money window, but look at the forced out play. The engagements all go the way of Cold Esports.
I feel like number 2, that's Hez supposed to be having some sort of defense coming into kitchen because no one was actually looking into kitchen coming in from Cold Esports. So that pinch probably could have been big for them, at least getting a trade. And now we're down into a 3v5 situation where the rotate needs to pull through. And going down here in staircase, that's not going to be the easiest part, especially yes, you have a sniper. But Jim's right there, so speaking
One
of-
shot kill. I don't know if that's a headshot or not, but it was.
Jim's taking ego chows, man. He's out here like, I want these 1v1s. Hez long range. Peacekeeper does the damage, but can't find the kill. Health coming by way of the cubby
Oh,
on top.
crap.
As Sniper is able to lock down a quick scope. And now everything is very predictable. I
Oh.
don't know how you break into this if you're Light. Everyone knows where Veer is. The SKS just does not have the fire rate to do too much. And another comfortable offense. This is very treacherous ground right now, and we need to see an immediate response out of Light when it comes to how they're going to set up. And I don't want to see 2 snipers and an SKS anymore. You need some more automatic weapons on the map.
Absolutely, that's the reason why they're just dropping. And now same thing over here, going in 5 stack, going in for Alpha, but then it's a good thing. No, it's actually not a good thing as Alpha.
Oh.
They're not going to be able to see anyone here in poolside, but Marky obviously gets that information, tries to go in for the shot.
Does he?
but
Did he? I don't know if
it's
he
a good
got
thing
him or
that
not.
slow
I think he
things
missed him.
down. But again,
Oh no, he got him. He's dead in the water.
see here, a 3v4, still very doable for Cold Esports to even things down with Marky. He's the most essential player here. He needs to take one at the very least.
I mean, this is Cold Esports. Uber confident at the moment. They just played rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, 1 shot, 1 kill.
Because you're not going to be able to respond to it. But Light will punish likely in this round. 4v2 situation.
This guy's
But
intense.
Still up. Opportunity to try to make something happen. And this is not a bad 1v1 on this corner. You slide shell this, find Veer on an SKS. There maybe is a chance to turn this to a 2v3, but it looks like instead Cold Esports will take the scenic route and maybe try to work over towards B. They're going to use Worst Sniper as a chance to kind of scout out before Jim makes his move.
Oh, that was so close. And now Jim is in absolute trouble right now, especially with a bomb in his hand. If he doesn't check his corners, Unfortunately, he does, but then doesn't really quite get the shots, and General Gore just gets him. So a 1v4 situation.
Oh, almost had him. Almost had him.
There you go. Off in the back, still trying to get the shots down. And now
You better get the hell out of there.
relayed over to Lightbat. It's only one person left there.
Nope.
This guy just won't go down.
Yeah, he
Got him.
started to do something there. I mean, I think for Cold Esports, I get it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Run the same play 3 times. See if they can put together a response. That time it's response by way of nades. So good adjustments from Light in terms of just trying to win some opening engagements with really not even taking any opening engagements, just Hail Marys over the top. And it's going to immediately call a response here from Cold Esports. No longer the 5-man flood. Smokes come through. Looking to get over towards ring control. Love this adjustment. If they're going to hit long range, force them to come through the smoke. Beer gets one, but the instant trade is going to be there, and numbers start to accrue for Cold Esports as they were able to get the bomb down.
Again, very interesting games here because the readjustments coming in from both of these teams are just so interesting. And now finally, bomb is going to be planted. Bat is going to be right there, but Hez
Got him.
doesn't really quite get in a fast round coming in from the side of Cold Esports, where it was a really good readjustment. But if you're on the side of Light, you already know that Cold will definitely go and readjust and probably go through Bravo.
The chess game, it's speed chess right now, but Cold Esports they're taking all the power pieces.
Yes.
They got to read in the first round of what Light was trying to do. And now you're throwing smokes to try to counter. You need to get trophies down where Sniper peels the forehead out of Gore. Now the smokes come through once again. Heads denied over to the middle of the map. Only defender here is Veer, and he's still trying to defend this up close and personal with an SKS. Would you please put an automatic rifle in your hands?
Yeah, I agree. He's trying to defend with a sniper rifle. That's impossible.
Unfortunate because they're just
Not close range like that.
How can you rely on someone else like that, Jim, with a really big kill? Really just leaves Fates.
Oh,
But then
no, I knew that was going to happen.
coming in from Fates, and speaking of, the KSP is going to do its job. It's very possible for him to clutch this up, by the way. Especially if the timing is right coming in for play number 5, which is Nev. If he just turns around just for a second, and there you go. They're going to be spotted. Fates trying to go in for the
There he
big
goes.
kill.
Oh, come on, come on. Ooh, we got him.
Unfortunately for him, Fates just a little bit too quick when it comes to those punches.
No, he better. Oh, nope. Yeah, I knew he was going to get it. It's so hard to defend by yourself when you get that many people. Even with an auto weapon, you're just going to get overwhelmed.
You look at this from the perspective of Light Esports. They're full flooding poolside. What do? Throw nades. The fact that they took them 2 rounds to think of that is crazy. Next round out, they throw smokes to B. You're still putting 2 snipers in an SKS at B. Get a KSP inside a ring, please. Come on.
It just seems like they don't want to do that, and Faints was in a really weird position. If they really wanted to play with the snipers, and speaking of, they're not even winning their gunfights. I mean, yes, you could have.
Yeah, they're losing by 2. It's going to be hard to catch up. I mean, they could, but it's going to be hard.
So it's 4 apiece. So speaking of, Nev gets 1, so it's going to be a 3v4. And again, they're putting the players in the wrong situation. Faints having that KSP should probably rotate into B as well. So it's just really difficult situation.
All this is for me, it's just Light is telling us that they just want to play for picks. Everything is going to come by way of their scopes or their ARs. And, I could understand that. I'm not going to sit there and say that it's bad, but what Cold Esports are doing are denying the probability of that working.
You knew it was coming.
That Fates should win, but doesn't make too much of a difference. Immediate trade out of Gore, little quick scope. We go to a 2v2, but the bomb is down just outside of basketball, and nobody knows where Sniper is. As you see, General Gore is second guessing the play through big.
We're Sniper. It's all up to you to try to go and make a play. He's far, far away, going in all the way through mid, but he's in a really good spot. He needs to go and shut down General Gore, and not only that, Veer as well. But with SKS, I feel like General Gore definitely has more of an advantage.
Oh, my goodness.
We're Sniper, though.
Well, he could find Veer off the exit here. He's going to play poolside. Looking to see if Veer will cross right to left. He does. Oh, no, not like this. 1v1. We're Sniper looking to hunt out General Gore. He's changed the angle completely. He's going to find Gore completely exposed.
There you go.
Unbelievably. Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, take your time. He deserves that. He deserves that win. I mean,
unreal.
He's protecting the bomb.
A really good rotation coming in through stairs. Getting that information, I feel like for Veer
The
and
Wonder Dog is back.
General Gore, they weren't holding down sights so well.
The thing about it is, even though the opening engagements were relatively evenly traded, there was no success in gaining ground out of the picks from Light. At the end of it, it was a 4v3 situation, and Light is still stuck behind the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're still playing for picks. A minute into the map, that just can't really work out. Now we're just overwhelming with nades over towards the top side of A. But look at the middle of the map. Cold Esports have just taken some free real estate inside of rocks. There will at least be a trade to keep the pressure on, but all those opening nades, Nev still slips into basketball, and he can contest this from the side corner.
That was a really good read coming in from Cold Esports. Jim and Vat just having that pressure all the way into kitchen, knowing very well that there might be some sort of presence coming in through mid. And number one from each team.
Oh
Jim
my
versus
God.
Veer, and Veer loses that. It's a pistol game here, but for Jim, just a little bit better with the sniper, and Nev getting
Unreal.
one more and getting that 1v3 situation. If you're Nev, it's just you have that information going down that it's already going to be in spawn and face. Getting that big kill, though, big sign here. But, I mean, a 1v3, that is the most difficult thing to do here.
All of the moves that are being made continue to favor Cold Esports, without question, without doubt. I mean, these 5-man hits for Light, playing with 2 scopes and a long-range AR, you're giving up way too much of the map. In that time through,
All right, guys, I'm going to drop off for a couple minutes because I got to do a couple things, but I will be back 'cause I'm going to be on and off covering this all weekend. I'm going to be on and off covering
Jim
this,
up
so.
top could still get caught. Plenty of time here for Faints to work with, but Vat is on the rotation. Seems to think that there is a sniff of a threat coming through. Vat's able to find it. No problem. Faints once again not able to 1v1. And Cold Esports are on map point.
Map point already, and at this point we were expecting a little bit more coming in from Light, and like what you said, they can't be aggressive going with the bomb, running 3